All right, I call to order this regular scheduled meeting of the 34th City Council for June 13, 2023. It's 7 p.m. Everyone in the room, can you please silence your phones to not disturb the meeting? And Mr. Clerk, may you please call the roll?
Councilmember Enos.
Here.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Councilmember Paris.
Here.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Here.
Councilmember Herrick.
Here.
Council President Sereni.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Councilman Mustafa Hammoud.
It's my pleasure to introduce Pastor Ryan Wilson of Dearborn Free Methodist Church, who will give the invocation at tonight's meeting. Everyone who's able, please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening to your throne of grace with hearts filled with reverence and gratitude, seeking your divine guidance and blessings upon our city council. We recognize that you are the ultimate authority, and we acknowledge that all governing authorities are established by your sovereign hand. And today we lift up these men and women who have been entrusted with the important task of leading our city. Proverbs 2:6 says, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding." Lord, I ask for wisdom to permeate the minds and hearts of our elected officials. Grant them discernment and understanding, enabling them to make decisions that align with your perfect will. Give them clarity of vision and the ability to prioritize the welfare and prosperity of all the people they serve. May their thoughts and words and actions be guided by justice, fairness, and integrity. We pray for unity among the elected officials. Lord, bridge any gaps and dissolve any divisions that may hinder collaboration and cooperation. Help them work together harmoniously, transcending personal interest and agendas for the greater good of our city. May their interactions be marked by respect, humility, and a genuine desire to serve the people faithfully. Father, we ask for strength and perseverance for our city council. The responsibilities they carry can be challenging and demanding. Grant them resilience in the face of adversity, enabling them to overcome obstacles and fulfill their duties with excellence. Protect them from pressures and temptations that accompany their positions, and surround them with godly counsel that will support and give them guidance. We pray for the well-being of their families. Shield them from any harm and grant them good health, both physically and emotionally. Strengthen their relationships and give them grace to balance their personal lives with the demands of their roles. And Lord, we ask for your divine protection over our city. Safeguard it from harm and turmoil and disaster. Grant our city council the foresight to plan wisely for the future, fostering sustainable development and prosperity. And I offer this prayer in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate it. All right, Mr. Clerk, we have the first item of business
Is public comment.
all right, so I just wanted to remind all the people in the audience, public comment cards. No, we have. Oh, you have something? Okay, give me 1 second. You can come out, just give me 1 second because we have an order, but I'm gonna let you go first. I just want to remind everybody we have public comment cards that are placed up here by the clerk's office, by the clerk. Please fill it out. And remember, keep in mind that we have a 3-minute limitation, and we do reserve 30 minutes for public comment in the beginning of the meeting. There's also public comment, of course, during any agenda item that is before the council at that time, and then again at the end for unlimited time frame, but 3-minute limitation per person. So all I ask is to please keep your calm and speak so we can understand you and be able to take down what you're saying to us. So at this time, go ahead and speak, if you like.
All right.
Say your name.
I'm Matt Graff. I'm Assistant Curator at the Dearborn Historical Museum.
And I just wanted to remind everyone that we have 2 events coming up in the next couple weeks. First is this Sunday, we have our Countdown to Juneteenth event. That's starting at 8 p.m. at our museum building at 915 Brady Street. There's going to be food, drinks, there'll be art activities for kids, families. So if you want to stop on by at our museum, June 18th. And then, a few days later, June 24th, we have our annual Teddy Bear Picnic, and that's at 10 a.m., also at the Ross House. And I'd like to thank Council President Serini for his sponsorship of the Teddy Bear Picnic this year. We will also have several council members serve, hopefully bring their families by, serve as judges. Council President Pro Tem Herrick has served as judge many years in the past and will do so again. So it's a great time to bring your families, come on by and join us at the museum.
Thank you so much for your work, and Jack Day, thank you for bringing that. It's going to be a great pleasure. I think it's going to be nice. I'm gonna bring my granddaughter. I'm going to be there.
Okay.
All right.
We're looking forward to it.
All right, thank you. All right, this time I'm going to go in the order of the cards that I received. The first one is C. Jane O'Cray. Okay. Yeah.
We're actually doing this together. My card's right under hers.
Okay.
We're tag teaming.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. And you're Nancy, right?
I'm Nancy Harmon. I live at 22278 Morley Avenue.
Got it.
And I'm Jane O'Cray, 752 Wagner Court.
Okay, thank you both for being here.
Okay.
So go ahead, and if you'd like to address the council, we did have your comment card.
Okay.
Right. So in response to the last meeting we had, the Committee of the Whole, some of you don't know what's happening yet because you haven't had the study session regarding the West Dearborn downtown development or rechange in development. So these are just some questions we want you to have when you're listening to the study session so you know how we feel. And we'll read these together. Why is there a need to increase the height to 52 feet? What's driving this project in this area?
How many of additional residents does the city hope to attract through development on Garrison in the area west of Brady Street and east of Military Street?
And what's the parking consideration for these new residents?
What assurance from the city of Dearborn can residents expect that developers will consider nuisance issues such as surface runoff, light pollution, parking, trash, and vermin? A simple lighting issue regarding a business on Garrison Street that's there right now has about turning off their lights that were overly bright and light flooding into 2 homes has just taken 9 months to resolve. Is this what we can expect?
Will the city consider, or zoning consider, conditional zoning and rezone to residential in the block of Garrison between Brady on the east and Oakwood on the west? This would not be incompatible with the current use, which is 100% residential right now, and would not be acting in favor of a particular owner, but rather all the residents currently living in the area. In case, and this is in quotes because this is from a master plan course from Michigan State, in cases where the master plan supports a relatively small zoning district that is dissimilar to the zoning that surrounds it, this is possibly not a spot zoning. And we'll give you this with the quotations and the link to Michigan State.
There is a great concern that single-family homes on Morley Avenue are non-conforming, and this needs to be corrected. This comes from the zoning board. If that is the case, why would there be a change with the zoning on Garrison Street, which would make 55 structures there non-conforming?
You have 30 seconds.
What will be the environmental impact on the Rouge River and the nature area with increased development?
How will the increased height, which is 52 feet, which is what the zoning board is suggesting, affect the quality of life for everyone on the south side of Morley, not just between Military Street and Howard Street? This height would be like placing the Hampton Inn minus 4 feet in their backyards. It would eliminate their privacy.
Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll give you
Okay,
these
anything
questions.
you'd like to drop off, you can hand to our
Yes.
clerk, Jackie, and she'll file it, okay?
Okay.
And just so the residents here know, we have been keeping a log of emails and these cards, and I've been instructing our council executive staff to make sure that you have notification of the meeting when it does come up, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Can I just do a shout out to the firefighters who put out the forest fire behind Morley last week? They
Yeah.
spent hours and hours to putting that
Thank
fire
you,
out.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure they hear it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I had a quick
Okay,
question.
Councilwoman Herrick?
I just have a quick question for the administration. Could I please receive the packet of, from the administration, the packet of information that was distributed to the city planning commissioners with the maps and the details of whatever they received in relation to the study session, or the meeting that was held regarding this matter? Could that please be emailed to me?
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it before the,
Right, I think, yeah, we
Sooner
have,
rather than later, thank you.
right, we have,
I know it's available, so.
right. Well, I think what was available to the commissioners is different, and again, that's where we have a difference in opinion. We're the elected body, we're getting a whole different look on what's going on there, so that's why I'm actually meeting with some of the staff Monday under suggestions of Councilman Abraham that he had gave me today regarding, for our meeting on Tuesday. So whatever you'd like to share, I just want to make sure that the council gets all the same information. So I think that's what we're waiting on, is to get our information different than theirs, but you're
Okay,
more than
well,
welcome to
it's
request whatever you
a packet that's
want.
already been made public.
Yeah.
So.
You made the request, so
I-
it's up to you.
If there's anything that's different in the packet that we received prior to our meeting, I'm sure it'll be pointed out, so, thank you.
Okay, and next we have Glenn O'Cray. Remember, he's got to let me know when it's close to 30 minutes.
I'm going to tell you a story. I love stories.
Mr. O'Cray, I'm sorry, you just have to, for procedure, can you state your name, address? for
Glenn
the record?
O'Cray, 752 Wagner Court.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you a story, and I love stories, and hopefully you will find this story of interest. It has a lot of players. This story began 100 years ago with the building of the Arsenal District, now known as Mara. This wonderful book gives the history of the homes of the Mara area that are at least 50 years old. The Detroit Hour magazine is going to feature it in their July issue. Councilman Herrick, God bless you, allowed me and my colleagues to set up a table to sell these books at the Edison Street sale. Thank you. I chose to leave the sale to go to the funeral of a friend, Rose Tobin, who had run for city council at one time. I came back, and my colleague, whom I will call Sarah, had taken my place selling books. I asked her what she would do if she came into a large amount of money. She said, "I'd buy a car. I'm getting too old to ride my bike." I put that in my memory bank. Towards the end of the day, Ms. Herrick's neighbor, Glenn Zubak, nice name by the way, asked if I wanted to buy some objects that hadn't been sold. 6 for $1. I bought 12 goodies, one of which was a frame for a wedding picture. The next day, I called the sister of the woman who had died. I asked if she might sell me her sister's car for a reasonable price. She said, "No, I'm going to give it to you." I told Sarah, and she was ecstatic. I told her that neighbor Holly Harmon would look at it and figure out what it might cost to be fixed. Nancy Harmon agreed to pay for the repairs. Sarah said she had some legal issues. I said, "Call our neighbor John McWilliams, who has his law office and home on the corner of Mason and Morley." John McWilliams was to get married last Saturday, but the judge who was to officiate couldn't make it. John talked to Nancy Harmon, who said to fix the problem and then tell his wife to be. A jogger went by, Father Chris Laszlo, who is the pastor at St. Mary's Church on the corner of Military and Morley. He agreed to perform the wedding. My wife and I went to the wedding on John's porch, as did some other neighbors. I took pictures of the wedding. I ran home. I printed the picture for the frame, for which I had spent roughly 16 cents. Maureen and John O'Stanton had given me a printer for that purpose. This is what a great neighborhood is. Do you want to tinker with a neighborhood like that?
You have 30 seconds.
Oh, shoot. I counted 20 empty facilities on Michigan Avenue. I understand that the city wants a vibrant neighborhood. I want a vibrant neighborhood and a vibrant downtown area. Mayor Hubbard destroyed the south end by taking down 77 buildings in 1964. I don't want that to happen. I walked on Brady, I saw Brady Street Bridge. It was saved by the prior city council. I want this current city council to save our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Cray. Appreciate your comments. Okay, next we have Mike Hamilton.
Yes, my name is Mike Hamilton. I live at 21500 Garrison Street. That's on the block between Brady and Oakwood that has been mentioned before, that's purely residential right now. I'm also the president of the Stanford Place Condominium Association. I did speak here last week, and it's been mentioned again tonight. We have 55 residences on that block, 55 taxpayers. That's not including the 4-story apartment building at the west end of the block. And as stated, they're all residential. The proposed rezoning of the West Downtown District, from everybody I've talked to in the entire affected area, it doesn't seem to provide any benefit to them. And specifically on my block, nobody on my block has said, what we really need is a 4-story Buffalo Wild Wings building right in the middle of our block. That's not been said. It would actually lower our quality of life on that block. And similarly, nobody said, what we really need is a party store and a car wash in the front lawn of the Historical Museum. Okay, these items would be allowed under this new proposal. And again, we don't see any benefit to us from that. And our neighbors on Morley certainly don't want a 4-story building on Garrison, taking their privacy. Parking is designated to be in the rear, so that would require paving these backyards of properties in a flood zone, which would cause drainage problems. One of the goals of this rezoning, as I understand, is walkability, but you're adding vehicles to the neighborhood, which wouldn't be friendly to pedestrians. So again, we don't see any benefit to those of us that live on that block. Regarding the walkability, one thing that could benefit that is if we could get stop signs on Brady at Garrison. It was mentioned last week, we have problems, people running the stop sign at Morley and Brady. And part of that's because they fly off of Michigan Avenue, and they either continue to fly up to Brady and run the stop sign, or they fly around our corner on Garrison. In the wintertime, the first snow,
You have
they
30 seconds.
they start jumping the curb. My wife and I even take bets, how long till we see the first curb jumper after the first snow? So it's very unsafe. People's cars have been hit. I've had my trash cans knocked over when they're on the curb, not on the street. So a stop sign at Brady and Garrison, both directions, would be very helpful for our neighborhood. We would like that improvement, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. Okay, next we have Kevin Green.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Green, 830 South Brady Road, the former William Ford House. I apologize that I am going to read to you what I have sent to you, but I don't know that everybody gets it, and I want to make sure, and I also want the audience to hear it as well. I am the immediate past president of MARA, and I'm writing in response to the zoning changes proposed by Mayor Hammoud and his administration. I do not oppose appropriate and compatible development on Garrison, even though I would hate to see historic homes destroyed in the process. But I do oppose some of the specific changes recommended by the administration. Specifically, I have the following principal objections. First, I oppose raising the height of any development on the north side of Garrison beyond the current limit, which is 45 feet, which is the compromise height that was agreed to by the previous administration and Mara, and then codified. Contrary to what the mayor and his administration keep saying, and I must say I take offense every time that I see this, including the water bottle on the top of the head, it's only 7 feet, it's just 7 feet. It is not just 7 feet. It is the difference between a 3-story developmental property and a 4-story. That is not 7 feet. Yes, I understand 45 feet will allow a 3.5-story building, but it is only 3 developable floors. The difference here is the 4th developable floor. This is significant because the buildings will overlook the adjoining residential homes on Morley, invading those neighbors' privacy, and as previously mentioned, impacting drainage and other issues for those who live on Morley. I believe the 3 developable floors are sufficient, recognizing that the roof line may be 3.5 stories high. Second, I object to any commercial development on the north side of Garrison that could permit a business being open later than 8 p.m., such as a restaurant or bar. Again, any such development would adversely impact the neighbors on Morley and Howe with noise and traffic, both vehicular and pedestrian. Third, I believe that mixed-use zoning should only be allowed in the area bounded by, and this is a little technical, but you have to look at the map.
30 seconds.
Yep. By Michigan Avenue on the south, west side of Oakwood on the east, east side of Military on the west, and the halfway dividing line between Morley and Garrison on the north. Everything else should be zoned single and multifamily residential with limited exceptions for existing uses. I also think that the current zoning should be clarified to expressly state that single-family residential is a permitted use for everything in the residential area, particularly on all of Morley and Garrison between Oakwood and Brady. Thank you for your
very much. Thank you for
consideration.
your time. Appreciate it. Okay, Kathleen Gibson.
I'm Kathleen Gibson. I'm the current association president of Westbourne Condominiums on Morley, 21926 Morley, number 102. And my biggest fear is that this will get away from you. So, on that note, respectfully, when business residential no longer fits the bill, find a term sure to confuse. How about urban mixed? Because that one surely will. If north-sided Garrison can be 4 stories tall, can you tell me how many current homes are going to fall? You say this next generation wants a walking downtown? I say, what about this one? We have worked to own. To take over Mara neighborhoods as your walking example, just call it what it is, because it's a trample. You will be trampling on those who already exist for a made-up neighborhood, the ones the investors have wished. For any power to destroy an existing neighborhood, I believe the term used is for the greater good. Now, the problem with that wording is obvious to see. Who decides if it's greater for you or for me? Though there has been every caution not to mention the name, I keep hearing echoes of eminent domain. Thank you.
Thank
And
you very
take
much.
it to heart.
Okay, next we have Bob Moore. Just keep in mind that we have less than 10 minutes left, so there's about 3 more cards
Thank you. My name's Bob Moore from 5944 Orchard Avenue in East Dearborn, so it's not a West Dearborn. But I have a question. I'm a longtime resident of East Dearborn, and in the last few months, I've noticed the call to prayer has become a regular, I mean, it's a daily thing now. Before, I would notice it maybe during Ramadan or on a high holy day or something, but I notice it's like every day now. And I'm just curious, because I've made some noise complaints, and I hate to complain about a touchy subject like religion and that, but to me, it's just a matter of noise. And I'm not saying the call to prayer is noise, but at any rate, I was curious, has there been a change recently in the code, the ordinance code for noise that allows for this? Because I've had the police stop by and they can't seem to explain it to me. They've been good showing up, but I'm just kind of getting a runaround and no answers, so.
Yeah, Mr. Moore, I can answer for you for the body. There's been no change to the noise ordinance whatsoever.
There has not been?
No, there's proposed that never reached through, so there was no change.
Okay, do we know anything about the new practice?
I'm not aware of any new practice other than what you're indicating, but there's no change to ordinance, so the ordinances, the police are, and the chief is here, he's taking down the notes. He's well aware of the ordinance and the requirements and the decibel reading, so if there's any concerns, I'm sure they'll look into it for you, but there's been no change.
Okay, so no change in the ordinance. Now, from my reading of the ordinance, I don't see how this is not a violation of that ordinance. I don't see where there's an exception. Is there one that allows for this? And I want to mention, too, there's a future mosque going up on Schaefer around Haggerty, or is that Haggerty, by the fire station?
I'm not sure if it's Haggerty.
Is that, anyways, the future mosque, the International Institute of Wisdom. I'm hearing the calls to prayer from Schaefer. I live west of Chase on Orchard. Now, I've had a policeman mention to me, well, the sound meter or whatever it is isn't operating right now and this, that. It's like, I don't think you need a sound meter to tell you that. You're probably exceeding the decibel limit of this if I can hear it a half a mile away. And I have to say, I'm not feeling like I'm getting a response about this. And I don't know what to do, honestly.
Well, I think you bringing it forward, your question regarding the ordinance, there was a proposed ordinance change which this council did not take up. So there was no change. The police are aware of it, and the administration hears the concerns. So I would continue to, if you have a concern or your enjoyment of your properties being affected to that realm, as you indicated in the past, there has been no issues. You've been a resident there how many years?
Yeah, I mean,
How many years have you been a resident there?
Probably about 30 years now.
Right, and there's been no issue, but you see something recently, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could look into what it is and we'll go from there.
Okay, now I did have a community officer supposedly stop by. I didn't see him.
Yes.
To discuss, to me, it's like we have to talk to these imams or something.
Well, yeah.
I don't
that's
know
not-
what to do.
Right, the solution is not for this aspect right now. You brought it to our attention. The chief is back there. The chief of staff has fully aware of your concern. We do have neighborhood police officers that have been instituted in quadrants, so I'm sure the chief will get your information and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And if you don't get a resolve, please contact the council. Okay? All right, thank you very much. Meredith, I can't pronounce the last name. Jacques, okay, I apologize. It was written together.
That's all right. Meredith Jacques, 22353 Morley. And what they're talking about is in my backyard. And I think I am the next generation. My children don't think so, but I am, and I do not want this in my backyard. I'm going to read to you kind of what I said to the Planning Commission. But as residents of Morley who experience an immediate and direct impact of the proposed zoning ordinance, we strongly oppose the amendments and the rezoning of the West Downtown District Regulating Map. I'm a lifelong Dearborn resident, aside from college and law school, and I'm proud to be raising our family in a diverse and historic neighborhood. We own a home on the south side of Morley that backs up to Garrison, with a lot that is used by our 3 young children for bonfires, sporting events, and gardening. The proposed zoning changes would be detrimental not only to the, what you just said, use and enjoyment of your property, but it would diminish the unique character of the neighborhood that drew us to this home from our former home near Dearborn High 3 years ago. We have extreme concerns over the zoning changes, as the neighborhood would slowly lose its character as bigger buildings are practically built on top of our home. It would cease to be the neighborhood it is today. We do not want the property behind us having the raised story to over 3 stories high, which would not only present as an eyesore for the neighborhood, but would impede on our backyard. And I can't stop thinking about the cameras that I see everywhere, all over these businesses, and them in the back of the building looking at my children playing. It was bad enough that on October 6, 2022, which was my daughter's 5th birthday, she was unable to celebrate with our family, with our planned event in our backyard, and unable to sleep in her room that night because the police officer, the state officer patrolling Military and Morley, informed us that if his daughter was asleep in the backyard, he would not, or asleep on the 2nd floor, he would not let her sleep there because the gunman at the Hampton Inn, which is 4 stories high, had a direct sightline into her bedroom. Well, that is an extreme situation that we hope never happens again. It is in the forefront of our minds as the proposal for larger buildings are built right back in our backyard is considered. This is only one item on your list. I don't even think it's on your agenda today.
It's not on the agenda.
It's not. But it's one thing that you'll look at for this year. But it affects my life every single day. Since this has happened, every single day I think about this. I go to sleep. Are they going to start building? How high? I don't oppose change, but it's hard to push change when no one supports it. Not a single person stood up at the Planning Commission meeting in support of this. Not a single person. No one here today, I don't think, is here supporting of it, and if they are, it's few and far between. As someone else said, this is a very slippery slope that you're going down. And frankly, if this changes, I'm moving. And I'm a lifelong Dearborn resident. I can't take it anymore.
Thank you very much. There's no more cards, right? Yeah, we do have a full slate of the council agenda. There is 3 more speakers. I'm going to try to fit them in. And just keep kindly reminding, we only have less than 5 minutes left. So, Bill Broad? Yes. Bod? Yes, sir.
Let me first say this is my first time here. Let me welcome, or let me say good evening to the esteemed council here and to everybody in the audience. I wanted to talk about a few quality of life issues in Dearborn, but I notice we have a time constraint, so I will try to do everything in the allotted 3 minutes. I'd like to talk about the business district at the corner of Monroe and Carlisle. My house is a block and a half from there. My father bought the house in 1947 when it was built, and I know that area quite well. I now live in that house, and there is a store at the very corner of southeast corner of Monroe and Carlisle. And when it was built, I believe about 1958, it was I found out later, a famous bakery from Hamtramck called Oza Bakery. And right next door to it was a place called Johnson's Milk Depot where you actually brought glass bottles and got them refilled and took the milk back home. Go figure. Well, the corner market is called Homeland Market, and he has security lights on his business, and they seem extremely bright. I called Neighborhood Services last year and tried to talk to someone, and they put me in contact with someone who told me they would possibly go to this market at night and test the brightness of the lights and see if it complies with what we have, I believe, in the city as, a level that the lights are not supposed to shine beyond. I never heard anything, and the light brightness has not changed. I understand that businesses are worried about security, but this particular part of Dearborn is pretty darn secure. I can't remember hearing about too much going on in this area, but when my west-facing shade is down, I can see the light through the shade. That's how bright they are. And the other thing is some of this area has been redone where Jim's Market used to be at the southwest corner of Monroe and Carlisle. A gentleman, I can't remember his name, I met him, bought it and put the art gallery and coffee house there. And some of those houses or those businesses look very well. They don't have the garish yellow awnings outside, and it looks quite nice. Unfortunately, the street there is in a horrible condition, and the sidewalk especially, when I've been on my bike, in front of what was George's Monroe Pharmacy, built back around 1957, the sidewalk is so degraded that the cement has turned to gravel. And these are quality of life issues for Dearborn, and I understand that we have a lot of things that we're trying to do. The mayor, who I voted for, is trying to do things, and I would hope that possibly we could get a cleaning crew, at least to go there and clean some of this up and make it look better until we have the money and the time to make the improvements that are needed.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
If I may, sir,
Co-
if you don't
Chief?
mind connecting with Nicole, just to give her the information. Nicole, will you get the information on this, please?
I'm sorry.
They would like you to see the deputy director in the back corner. She's going to take the address for the complaints, okay?
See him at the end of the meeting.
This lady right there. No, boy, you can go right now.
Right now.
Okay? Next, again, we have two left. Betsy Andrew? She took care of it. We want to make sure we get it resolved.
Hi, Betsy Andreu. A question I have is for Mr. Enos and Mr. Abraham, and it is about, I think it's number 38. So can you explain to me in your own words exactly what that is?
Well, yeah, I don't know if they want, yeah, it's coming before us on the agenda, but I don't know if you guys care to speak about it now, or you want to wait until that time. It's up to you guys. Yeah?
So item number 38 on tonight's agenda is proposing new language to this council's rules of order, which is the governing document of this body, adopted by this body. There are two proposed amendments. One is relating to the waiver of attorney-client privilege between this body, its members, and our corporation counsel. And the second is an item addressing the, I guess, activity, I'll use, for lack of a better term, of council members attending governing commissions, committees, and bodies that report to the council.
Okay, so you want to prevent council members from going to other meetings and asking questions?
What way it's proposed, you can go to the meeting, the way it's proposed right now. Just
They
not
can
speak
go.
at it.
Why can't they speak at the meeting? If I'm electing all of you to represent me, why can't you ask questions on my behalf?
Well, I can answer that if you'd like, because I was also supporting this aspect, but it's a legal issue. It's called the Open Meetings Act. And the problem is that these boards directly report to the council. Just so you know, my mom served 24 years, and before me, this has never been an issue because those boards are working for the city council and they report to us. So let me finish so I can explain, unless you don't want to have the answer.
Go on.
If you want the answer, I'll give you the
Sure.
answer. Okay? The reason is that the council cannot appear all 7 of them there, which means they cannot because Open Meetings Act, because it would be a violation. So when you go to that board and 2 or 3 people speak on that board, which to me, the only reason why you speak is to influence. All these people are speaking to have their voice heard. That body reports to us. So if a council member is there speaking and influencing the board that's going to give us a recommendation without the full body chamber being there to speak, it's not proper. I don't even think it's legal. And I've made that comment. I've talked to my members about that and explained it to them. So You said you elected us. Did you elect all 7 of us? Because there's 7 of us here. Not all 7 of us can appear at the meeting, the planning commission or the zoning meeting. By the way, the planning commission reports directly to us. The zoning board does not report to us, but we draft the zoning law. So if a council member walks into a zoning meeting on a person's asking for a change in zoning or a variance in the zoning, it would signal, in my opinion, a bias to the commissioners that we are supporting that. So that was the genesis of the reason behind that.
Okay, well, because my thing is, how many different meetings do you go to? Do you go to school board meetings, zoning board meetings, traffic commission meetings, or do you just come to this meeting? Mr. Paris, do you?
I would defer until we wait until the agenda item comes up, number 38. That way we can talk fully.
Right, yeah, because it's not on the table, this is not on the table right now, but you're more than welcome, your card was there. But if you ask me, I don't go to any of the meetings, because I believe that I'm not a micromanager, and I believe that we confirmed those people to do their job. And the biggest reason, in case you want to know, is when they bring us their recommendation, it's up to this body. I've sat here many a times where a couple of my colleagues have said the planning commission, no disrespect to them, has got it wrong and have changed it completely, and our colleagues agreed. The planning commission, you don't elect. You do know that, right? You elect us.
Right.
So I believe that we should do the job that we're elected to do. I don't believe in skirting my duty, and I think you know that. So when someone is mentioned to the planning commission, they do their job, and then we do our job, because they report to us. So I don't think it's proper from some council members to go there and influence those members when they're gonna report to us, and it's our job to make the decision.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think asking a question is.
Well, I disagree with you, and you do realize that not everybody can go at the same time. Do you at least accept that?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
This body operates as one body.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, last we have Mr. Chris Puffer. And then, Mr. Puffer, if you don't mind, yes, go ahead. No, I'd like you to come forward, but if you don't mind, we really have to get to the agenda. No, I mean, you were excellent last time. I just want to
Chris
keep
Puffer,
it, keep the
724
time.
South Brady. I'll try to talk as fast as I can. First thing I want to do is publicly thank Chief Issa. He spoke at the Mara meeting a year and a half ago, right at the transition. He actively sought questions from the Mara people, and I'll be darned, he went out and did what he said he was going to do. We've kept in contact, and he said he's written hundreds of tickets at Morley and Brady. Fortunately, I didn't get one. Somehow I slipped below that radar. But thanks, Chief. You know, that's my pet peeve. I want to get the bike lanes painted green on Brady, and I'd like to see a blinking red light at the corner of Morley and Brady. That's enough on that subject. I do live in the Mara area. I'm not on the Mara board. I'm not a director. But I have, in the last month, since May 8th, gotten fairly involved in this process regarding the rezoning. I attended the first meeting, and I came away with more questions than answers, one of which was, I presented to the panel, if you build this out as you suggest, if you do urban general on Michigan Avenue, mixed urban in the neighborhoods and residential, how many residents are you planning on bringing into the city? There was no answer available. To me, that was a very simple question. If we're going to build Comerica Park, I think we need to know how many people are coming to the park, before opening day. The second question was with regard to the height of the buildings. Everyone's saying it's only 7 feet, it's only 7 feet. So we crunched some numbers. Some friends and I went out and took pictures of all the buildings in the area, and we come to find out that at 52 feet, actually 52 and a half feet, the Buffalo Wild Wings building most closely matches that height. We presented you something in writing. Each of you received a packet this week. We meant to get it to you last week, but I had no idea that color ink cost that much money, so we had to have it done at Staples. But at any rate, so we were all kind of wondering, what's 52 feet look like? Can you point us to a neighborhood where this exists? Can you point us to a neighborhood where you've got 52 feet of of commercial on one side of the block and residential on the other? We looked long and hard through Google Earth, Ferndale, Wyandotte, Royal Oak, Plymouth. We could not find one single block in which it was split down the middle and you had 52-foot height building on one side and residents on the other. I'll leave it at that. But 52 and a half feet is what we're looking at. That is more, it's not just 7 feet, it's a whole nother floor. So as a solution to that, I sent you a proposal that I think would work, which would be the development of the south side of Garrison, which I call the Muirhead parking lot. As you may see in the notes that I gave you, that could be just a really dynamic project. You've got 800 feet to deal with there.
You have
could
30
go-
seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. Well, the best laid plans of even the best developers can fail, you guys. None of us thought we'd be sitting here with an empty Hyatt Regency 40 years later. We need to be very, very careful about what we're doing here. Once this stuff gets built, there's no turning back. Who would have thought that, look at the Montgomery Ward building, look at the 2 parking structures behind Bar Louie. I think that it's great that you're hearing what the neighborhood has to say. I think we need to revisit this. There's been 6 transactions on the north side of Garrison in the last 2 years. People are picking those properties up. It's almost like a fait accompli. They already think that the zoning is going to be changed. But we have to ask ourselves, as they say in Latin, cui bono, who benefits? They're asking us to trade off as neighbors. What are we trading off? Our quality of life? And for what? For a handful of developers to make a couple $1 million? I could go on and on. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you all for attending. I just want to remind everybody, the public comment in the past, I'd like to thank my colleagues for the rule changes that this body took in early on to change and have a public comment in the beginning of our council agenda so people would not have to wait hours to get through. And then again, we have another public comment at the end. I believe I got through all the cards. I apologize to my colleagues for going slightly over 10 minutes, but I felt it was necessary to wrap up those sections. We are now going to continue on to our regular scheduled council next item. And anybody that is going to be leaving, please be cognizant that the hallways, we can hear you, the doors stay open. So if you're going to leave, please try to consider that we are having a meeting here. Mr. Clerk, can we have the next item?
Item 5 is a resolution by Council President Sereni, supported unanimously, acknowledging Amne Yagmor on performing life-saving measures during a critical accident on January 2nd, 2023, with a council citation and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you. And Amni is here? Okay, just 1 minute. All right, well, earlier this year, Amni Yagmor of Dearborn High School senior was filling up her car at the gas station on the corner of Telegraph and Cherry Hill, where she heard a large crash. Amni ran to the scene and noticed the man was unresponsive, and with help, pulled him out of the car and immediately began to give him CPR. Our fire department credits Amni, saying that her actions made the difference of this man saving his life. Amni learned CPR at the school system, in our school system of the Michael Berry Career Center, as a required course for students that are in health service program, and will be attending the University of Michigan Dearborn this fall in a pre-med track, and plans to ultimately become a radiologist. At this time, the 34th Dearborn City Council would like to call Ms. Amni Yagmor up to present her a citation for her honor and heroic for saving a life at a critical accident. I can tell you, when I learned of the story, I've been in situations like this. They're not fun. And a lot of people freeze. No discredit to them. It's hard for you to do what you were trained to do. I read about the 3 years of your training. I am a big advocate. All my children have taken CPR classes. And I'm really, really glad that you were there to do this. So at this time, I know the fire chief is here. I would like him to come up forward, and I want the council to go up to the front so we can get a picture with Amni. I would appreciate it. All right. Chief, are you standing in? Yeah, come up. Did you graduate this weekend? Yeah. Oh,
Congratulations.
I was there. How does it feel? It's my Chief, you're good, or you? Go. Gary, is that a good spot, Gary? You want to come behind her? Gary, why don't you just come right behind her?
Feel my toes a little bit.
Step on your toes. I stand on my toes all the time. It works.
Council President. His father, her father, maybe you take a picture of her father.
I'm over there. So am I.
Absolutely. You should be proud. This is an amazing moment, yes.
Can we just get a photo
Of course.
her father with, with her, you and your dad?
Game's there in about 10 minutes.
I know.
We're on item number
2. All right, thank you, everyone, for that brief time. I thought it was very important to highlight that, and I'm sure my colleagues all agreed with me, so good way to start a meeting out. And Mr. Clerk, you do need a unanimous roll for that citation, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, unanimous roll will be attached. And next item?
Item number 6, resolution in need of offer and support approving all the items on the consent agenda and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, and before we move to the consent agenda, I just want to make sure for my colleagues, are there any items that any member would wish to remove from the consent agenda and discuss individually? Councilwoman Herrick?
Number 8, please.
Okay, number 8. Okay, Mr. Clerk, number 8, excuse me just one second here. Okay, Mr. Clerk, number 8 shall be removed from the consent agenda, placed on the regular agenda.
Very good.
Okay, any other items? Okay, at this time, we would need an offer and support for the remaining items to remain on the consent agenda. Offer by Councilwoman Herrick and supported by Councilman Enos. Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
7 yeas, the resolution passes.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, next item, please.
So now we'll move on to item 8.
Yes.
Resolution by council members Herrick and El Sawafi authorizing the mayor to execute a hold harmless agreement with the designated free library steward, Reagan Ford, for a little free library at West Dearborn Pocket Park located at 22054 Michigan Avenue and requesting immediate effect.
All right, so the Little Free Library is a tax-exempt organization that began in 2009. It promotes literacy and the love of reading and promotes a sense of community by building book exchanges together. It has evolved into a worldwide volunteer initiative with more than 300 million books shared throughout its worldwide locations, including locations in Michigan and, of course, in our city of Dearborn. I know that we have Mr. Regan Ford here as well to speak to it, so would you like to come forward, sir?
Greetings, council. Regan Ford, what is my address? 304 Gertrude Street. Yep, so this in particular little free library was built by myself and a Mr. Bob Glykoff, who was a Rotarian. And I just want to say one quick thing, if I could, about Bob, because Bob was a Rotarian. He was involved with this church. You may not ever hear his name unless you were in the churches and the groups he was, but he probably did more for this city than many of us. He was if something needed done at Rotary, he was the first guy to raise his hand. You know, he was just class act all the way. But he died recently. He died last year at the young age of, he was in his 60s. So, but we built this little free library together in my backyard the year I was president of the Rotary. And I seen him a week before he died. Thank God I got to see him in his house. And he said that he wanted, because it had been sitting dormant, the little free library we built. He said he'd like to see it put up again somewhere in the city. So kind of in his honor, I guess would be the proper word, to go about and reset it and find us. So we went about trying to find a place to set it. And we asked our partners with the Chamber of Commerce, the Dearborn Chamber, the wonderful girls and guys down there, and they found us at Brome downtown. I believe it's a burger restaurant down there. And we had to give the exact place where we were going to sit it, where we were going to place the library. They needed to know a few things. They all agreed, and we submitted it at the committee of the whole meeting, and here we are.
Yes, and someone was here to speak at the committee of the whole for you, that's why his name skips.
Yeah, Dave Anderson.
Yeah, he said that you speak better than him and you were coming today, so. No, we do appreciate it. These are popping up, and, you know, with today, everything being read on the phone and short snippets, there's one down the street of my house at Cherry Hill. They're very useful, and people go to them. I mean, you see families going to them and using them, so it's a great
I
idea.
am the steward, so as soon as I get the green light or whatever, I can go place, it's literally at my house, I can drive it there and set it up.
All right, great.
I'm that guy.
All
And I
right.
kind of control which books go in it, they're all donated books. And we try to steer clear of any controversial books, whether it's a 5-year-old kid or an 85-year-old lady, you know, so.
It's a good idea.
Keep some nice books in there.
Absolutely. And this is requesting immediate effect. Is there any questions or comments from my colleagues? Councilwoman Herrick.
Thank you, Mr. Ford, for bringing the Little Free Library to this public space in the Pocket Park there on Michigan Avenue. As Council President said, we know how popular the Little Free Libraries have grown. And I believe, and maybe Julie from the library can correct me, I believe this is only the second Little Free Library to be placed on public space in the city, the first being in the John D. Dingle Transit Center. So if folks haven't visited that Little Free Library, it's a fairly large Little Free Library, and it's shaped like a train. And I mention it because I'm intimately familiar with it being built. My son did it for his Eagle Scout project.
I have seen that one. I didn't realize there was a Little Free
Yeah,
library.
and the unique thing about that one is it's actually an official branch of the Dearborn Public Library. So they maintain it, they have a volunteer who regularly goes and restocks it, which brings me to my question. How often will you be visiting the Little Free Library to check on the materials, as you mentioned, to make sure that appropriate materials are
Yeah.
there and
I
a variety
imagine,
of?
when I first set it up, there's no set, I'm gonna do this, and that, but I imagine at least once a week we'll go there and make sure that it has what it, you know, that not all the books are gone, or I might have to place new books. So there's really not a great answer I can give you other than we're gonna kind of be on top of it and watching it. And if it gets going and we start to get a routine and we see that only once a month we need to bring books, then we'll do that at that point. But there's no real, we'll be watching it though, is the best answer I can give.
Right. And we, just for the record, is the Dearborn Rotary Club.
Dearborn Rotary Club, yeah.
So, which, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is, we're well aware of them and the work they do, tremendous work, so we do appreciate it. All right, immediate effect is being requested. Any other questions or comments on this? Councilman Enos.
Where can you donate books for your organization?
That's a good question. You can bring them over to my house, Gary.
All right.
You'd have to go on the Dearborn Rotary Club
Okay.
and, you know, speak with someone or come to one of our meetings or it's designed to put books in there. I should point this out. If you're at Brome having a burger and you have a book, you can put it in there. My job is to go there once a week, like I said, make sure they're not putting things in. We've had it set up at other places and we never ran into anybody's worst fear, you can imagine. And it's never been anything like that. So you can donate books to it if you're just a, good citizen like you are, Gary, and you want to give a free little book, right? You can go
Right.
and you stick it right in there, and then if I say, doggone it, Gary, this one's too inappropriate, I'll take it out.
Right. I think for our residents, best thing to do is contact the Dearborn Rotary and donate the
That'd
book
be
to
the best
them
thing.
and let them decide. Councilman Herrick, you have something to wrap up?
Well, as far as Gary's donation goes, and anyone who comes to a council meeting, I also am an officer with the Dearborn, Rotary Club of Dearborn. So I'll be happy to help facilitate transporting those if you happen to bring one to a meeting. And also working with the Dearborn Public Library if there's our extra books that we want to give to the Friends of the Library for possible other distribution, I can help with that.
Thank you,
I'd be happy to do
Councilwoman.
that.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions or comments on that? Okay, an immediate effect is requested. And hearing no objection, unanimous will be attached. Next item, please.
So we'll move off
Thank
the
you.
consent agenda and move on to our first item, which is item number 21, resolution by council members Enos and Herrick approving the minutes of the previous special meeting of May 17th, 2023.
Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the minutes? Okay, if not, is there any objection to unanimous roll being attached? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item, please.
Item 22, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris approving the minutes of the previous regular meeting of May 25th, 2023.
Okay, is there any additions, deletions, or modifications to those minutes? Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 23, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos approving the minutes of the previous special meeting of June 1st, 2023.
Okay, Okay, any additions, modifications, or deletions to these minutes? Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 24, ordinance number 23-1790, an ordinance to amend the Water and Sewers Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 1 entitled In General, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos to take from the table for its final reading.
Okay, unanimous roll will be attached to take from the table for its final reading. Each fiscal year, the water and sewer rates are updated as part of the budget process, and this year's estimated cost of $31.9 million, which will be payable to GLWA. The proposed 2024 water and sewer rates remain unchanged with a methodology of 28% fixed cost, 72% is variable based on actual customer usage, and a standalone fixed rate for fire line accounts is also in effect, same as last year. This will result in a combined increase of approximately 2.9% on their water bills, as well as approximately 3% on the fire line fixed rates. In addition to paying GLWA, our proposed rates directly fund our water and sewer infrastructure, replacement projects, and operation and maintenance of 370 miles of water lines. This will be effective July 1st, our fiscal year 2023. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 23-1790, an ordinance to amend the Water and Sewers Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 1 entitled In General.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember Al Sawafi. Councilmember Al Sawafi. Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 absent, the ordinance passes.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 25, ordinance number 23-1791, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicles Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 2, Division 3, Section 18-193, entitled Evidence of Insurance, resolution by council members Paris and Herrick to take from the table for its final reading.
Okay, an unanimous roll will be attached to take from the table for its final reading. The Dearborn Code of Ordinances, Section 18-193, addresses motor vehicle insurance as a civil infraction. The ordinance needs to be amended to reflect appropriate penalty under state law for failing to have motor vehicle insurance, which is a misdemeanor. Under MCL 500-3102, an owner or register or permitted user of a motor vehicle or motorcycle that operates a vehicle without having insurance coverage in full force and effect is guilty of a misdemeanor. The proposed amendment corrects this oversight by adopting the same penalty as the state law. Is also amends another penalty provision regarding fraudulent insurance by making the penalty punishable as a misdemeanor up to 93 days in jail. This change gives the police ability to pursue local charges against motorists who lack the required insurance coverage and keeps those cases in the hands of our local prosecutors as well. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Is there any questions or comments on this item? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 23-1791, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicles Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 2, Division 3, Section 18-193, entitled Evidence of Insurance.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi. Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 absent, the ordinance passes.
Next item.
Item number 26, ordinance number 23-1792, an ordinance to amend Administration Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Division 3 entitled Historical Commission and Division 3A entitled Environmental Commission. Resolution by council members Paris and Enos to take from the table for its final reading.
Okay, and unanimous roll will be attached to take from the table for its final reading. The proposed amendments would make the Historical Commission an advisory commission to the Library Commission. The endowment that funds the majority of the museum operation budget is scheduled to run out of funds in 2024. The city current funds the museum in an amount of $50,000 annually. Once the endowment is depleted, the city will be responsible for the full $350,000 annual budget. To ensure the success of operations of the city museum, is being proposed that the museum be relocated as a division within the Department of Libraries. The chief curator of the museum will report directly to the library director, and the library commission will take over all the general management and control of the museum and its collection. This will be effective on the fiscal year of July 1st, 2023, when the resolution is passed by the library commission at their last meeting. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Is there any questions or comments on this item? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 23-1792, an ordinance to amend the administration chapter, Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Division 3 entitled Historical Commission and Division 3A entitled Environmental Commission.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, we have a member from the audience who'd like to speak regarding this item. Oh, sorry, yeah. You can't yell from the floor. You have to come up and address the council properly, state your name and address for the record. I'm assuming you're speaking on this item.
Yes.
Okay.
It perked my interest. I don't do this much. Sorry for the.
Okay, your name?
My name's Helena Thornton. I live on Marshall Street in Dearborn. And I am curious about having the report of the museum to the library. I see it's probably a budget solution and all you could think of at the time, but I mean, it could be quite daunting for the library to do the library duties as well as be curator of a museum. What has been done to support and fund the museum independently? That would be my question. And has that been exhausted?
Well, I can speak for myself. I can tell you that the library on my term had considered raising a millage, which you've been a resident for a while, know that the last millage was rejected by the voters of the 3.5 temporary millage. Not sure if you were aware of that. No?
Well, no, I don't remember, but it doesn't have to be a millage. It could be other fundraising things.
I know, but I'm answering your question. What was the answer? My answer is that the library asked for, the museum proposed a new building and a small, bonding or millage to go out, and the council did not believe that it was the right time. So the administration I don't want to speak for the administration, the mayor's not here today, but this is not something that we just decided to do because there was no other funding. It was believed that this is the right place to be under the control of the library in that location. And my council members, we've had meetings regarding it, so there hasn't been any other suggestions of what's a better way to do it other than completely funding the museum separately and independently.
It just seems like it could be marketed differently. Look what has been benchmark. Just okay, we have to, the simple things you guys do, your bonding, you have millage, you have things like that under your control. What are the other things that can be done? I guess that's all I'm asking. Right. What is benchmark statewide, what are other people doing? That's all.
Chief, yeah. Well, just so you know, a lot of other municipalities do not have a museum, and many of them do not have a library that's funded over $7 million a year as well. So we're pretty well funded. Chief?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question and your curiosity, because I think it is an important question for all residents. And I think just to clarify a few things that may not have come to light in this conversation or the ordinances, the historical museum without this change would have been it can sustain itself with the funds it has. So having it move under the museum is kind of the library was a way to preserve the history, preserve the historical museum. And what I would recommend after this meeting is actually speak to the director of the historical museum, Jack Tate, and then our new library director, Betty Adams, who is very much capable and has the experience to be able to run both the historical museum and the library, and they both coincide very similarly interchangeably with one another. Very similar to preserving and categorize. I think when we talk about best practices in other communities, we've actually taken this model from other communities, which I think they can speak to as well, where you do see the historical nature and historical preservation of our documents and our information in the library. So when people are doing research regarding the city of Dearborn, you can find it in our library. So kind of that's the genesis of why we were thinking about that. It was to preserve the museum, was to preserve the history, but also to create an experience for residents and guests who are looking and seeking information and making it as easy, as efficient as possible, and going where it would make most sense, which is the library. So I definitely would encourage you to speak to both directors who have a wealth of information that they would be happy to share with you.
Thank you for your comments, appreciate it. Any other questions or comments? Councilwoman Herrick?
Thank you, Council President. I'd also like to note that that the museum, the Historical Commission and the museum staff had extensive conversations regarding this change and talked with the library about it. And when I asked folks on the Historical Commission and the museum staff what their thoughts were, because I was kind of surprised. I hadn't heard that this was something that was going to be happening until the mayor told us during one of the mayor's briefings. When I had the conversations with the folks who every day interact with the museum, I was very pleased to hear that they were supportive of this solution to partnering with the museum, again, as Chief of Staff said, because they share some resources when it comes to being a resource for residents who are doing research that makes sense to work with the library. As well as a lot of their programming fits well together when it comes to programming for children and adults and families and history and education. The library does a lot of that kind of thing on a regular basis, as does the museum. So it makes sense that they work together on their ongoing programming. But in particular, the safety net of sharing their financial resources and the museum, and I'm sorry, the library's millage and the library's budget, and working together, it was a good solution. I can see why the Historical Commission and the staff there thought that was a good solution to work together with the library. And I'm glad that they are all in agreement to work together going forward. But myself, as a resident who appreciates the history of our historic buildings, that is something that I'm hoping that we can ensure into perpetuity, that we have the McFadden Ross House and the Commandant's quarters are preserved, as well as the historical archives of photographs and materials that have been housed in the museum. So I hope that we can continue to count on that going forward. Thank you.
Councilman Paris, please.
Thank you, Council President. One thing that wasn't brought up that I want to make sure that you understand too, and if you do talk to Mr. Tate, he will be able to explain this further. I don't know if you're familiar with the Ross Trust that funds a lot of what takes place on that property. But if you're not, talk to Mr. Tate about it, and he will explain it to you, that Ross Trust that has gone towards a financial aspect of the property for many, many years is being depleted. It's going to be totally depleted. So that is going to be somewhat of a financial challenge too for us on council and as the city, because then we have to go ahead and find that revenue, to go ahead and have a lot of the problems or the programs that are currently within the library and now going to the library from the Historical Commission, we're going to alleviate a lot of the financial burden that has been taken away because of the Ross Trust.
Right, thank you. Yeah, we did mention that the trust was depleted in 2024. I think the resident was asking if there was alternatives besides that. Councilman Hammoud?
Yeah, so, and just everything they said was completely true, and just to kind of dovetail on it and kind of bring it back to the special meeting we had before this, moving them under the library is a long-term sustainable funding solution, and that's why it was one of those things that everybody was very happy to get on board with, whether you talk to the library director, the museum director. The library does have a bit of a surplus, and so they were able to easily absorb the museum, and the museum obviously will still be functioning. They still have their library curator and essentially director, so they still function somewhat independently, and they're just going to have to work with the library, and I think there's a lot of collaborations that we've been promised are going to exist there. So I think at first it was uncomfortable, I think, for some people, but once we actually dug into it, we found that it did end up being one of the best solutions for the longevity of the Dearborn Historical Museum. Thank you.
Thank you. And just one more point of clarification, if, Jack, you don't have to come up, but just to make sure I got this right. Also, the current structure, the Historical Commission had no power. They were advisory only. I want to make sure everybody hears that. They had no power as far as getting things done. No, you don't, I don't want you to come up. I know you're not feeling good. But anyways, the Library Commission has their own power. They do not report to the council. They have their own dedicated millage of 1 mil. And this council just passed earlier another portion of the millage, I think it was 0.54. I wanted to speak here. That was right? Yeah, 0.54, which is allowed for the body to tax against our residents for the sole operation of the museum. So I would suggest that it's actually more autonomy for them because they will then be able to go through those channels and provide what they need for their for the museum. So hopefully. All right. Mr. Clerk, we did have the second
Yes.
reading, so can we have the roll call vote if there's no other questions or comments? Okay, roll call vote.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
All right, next item, please.
Item 27, ordinance number 23-1793, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 06-1111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the properties located at 14448 and 14460 Wellesley Street from an RA, which is a single-family residential district, and Business C, general business district, to a VPD, a vehicle parking district, Class A auto dealer. Resolution by council members Paris and Enos to take from the table for its final reading.
Okay, and unanimous roll will be attached to take from the table for its final reading. This request is to rezone 2 parcels, 14448 and 14460 Wesley, from RA, single-family residential district, to, and Business C, general business district, to VPD, which is vehicular parking district, Class A auto dealer. The total area of the parcels is approximately 14,000 square feet. Existing on parcel B is an employee parking lot of the LaFontaine Buick GMC located on 14505 Michigan Avenue. The applicant intends to, on closing the parcel A, demolishing the existing single-family home, combining it with the abutting parcel B, and then redeveloping the entire site consistent with VPD standards. The VPD district is intended to accommodate storage of new and good condition used vehicles for sale. Therefore, the VPD district does not allow any activities that negatively impact the adjacent properties. The proposed rezoning of VPD will also provide a buffer to the single-family residential neighborhood located south across from Wesley and would require screening and landscaping greenbelt. After consideration and a public hearing on May 8th of 2023, the motion was unanimously adopted by the Planning Commission to approve the request of LaFontaine Automotive Group to rezone both properties. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Do we have any questions or comments on this item? Councilwoman Herrick.
Thank you, Council President. I know that the public hearing was held on May 8th, and I'm just wondering, can administration please remind me, when a rezoning is taking place like this, the residents within how many feet are notified that there's going to be, that the rezoning has been proposed? Is it, how many feet?
Can you say in the record?
300.
That's statutory, correct?
That's the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Okay, thank you. So within 300 feet, any residences were notified that this was taking place. Did we receive, did the, either at the public hearing or in writing, did any residents give any feedback regarding this proposal?
No.
Okay, so we didn't hear from anybody at all?
No.
Good to know. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from my colleagues? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 23-1793, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 06-1111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the properties located at 14448 and 14460 Wellesley Street from an RA and Business C to a VPD, vehicle parking district.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Councilmember Paris?
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Okay, next item, please. Thank you.
Item 28, ordinance number 23-1794, introduced by Councilmember El Sawafi. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the Water and Sewers Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 1, Section 19-14, entitled Water and Sewers.
Okay, thank you. This is a proposed amendment to the ordinance, Chapter 19, Article 1, Section 19-14, to include the language that the city will restore soil grading and grass seeding after a sewer repair by the city. The amendments to the water and sewer ordinance will be placed as follows. The uniform cost of sewer repair shall include the restoration of the grounds after repair, including appropriate soil grading and grass seeding where applicable. So just to give a synopsis of this, we're very fortunate here at Dearborn, where if you did have a sewer break in your backyard, a lot of other cities, that's your private property, your responsibility, even if it goes out into the alleyway until it connects to the main sewer trunk line. The city of Dearborn, and well before I was on the council, has always made an exception for the residents and capped the certain amount in which the resident would have to pay. A lot of times I have seen bills over in excess of $10,000 for excavation, and the residents pay between $3,000 to $4,000 maximum in that range. What was happening, though, is there was no provision to restore their property back and grade. So a lot of elderly residents and people that didn't have the capacity would have a sewer fixed, but a mound of dirt that they, from the construction. So this here corrects that and allows it to be graded back to where they were so that we can put it back in the position they were before the sewer was broken. So this is the first of two readings. Any questions or concerns on this item? Councilman Hamud.
I know this has been a passion project for you, Council President Sereni. It was one of the first things you mentioned when we took office. So I'm
I believe
happy-
if you fix it, you should have left the place worse than when you came in, but so hopefully this will correct that.
Yeah, I like this. So good job.
Okay, that's all. Any other questions or comments on this item? I know that we spoke to the director. I just wanted to make sure this is, when we said that we included, that is not to be included in the cost. Because I know there was some rumbling from the engineering department. That's our job. And that they are still to use the exact same method, and this is to be included at no additional charge or calculation or methodology. Okay, just wanted to make sure that was clear. Okay. Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 23-1794, an ordinance to amend the Water and Sewers Chapter 19 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 1, Section 19-14, entitled Water and Sewers. Resolution by Council Members Hamud and Enos to table the ordinance.
Okay, and unanimous roll will be attached to table the ordinance. Unless I hear any objections? Hearing none, so is attached. Next item. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman.
The way
Where?
that provision reads is that it would be included in the uniform cost. So if you want it excluded from that cost, I'm going to have to revise that. It
Okay.
says, so
Well,
the established
Yeah, it
annual
would be up to
cost.
the members.
Yeah, the established annual cost that is done by the engineer, which has been the same since 2019.
Yes.
The way that it's written is the grading, any soil or seed would be included into that cost as they adjust. That's how it's worded currently.
Well, I mean, this is up to the members if they'd like to amend it. To me, as I have said, the water and sewer rates that we're charging them, they're paying it indirectly anyways. It's always been a practice of the council to reduce that cost. Many other cities do not even indulge in this. We had our own director pay almost $4,000 last year on his because the trunk line went all the way out into the street, which is your responsibility. So I'm in favor of leaving the same methodology, and this would, my intention was to make sure that the resident got and we have the backhoes there. It makes no sense not to just grade it out for them and place seed. So if anybody has any objection, or do we need to have the introducer or the offerer or supporter to amend that, Mr. Romer?
Yeah, if you want the city to bear the cost outside of what the engineering department caps that at, the uniform cost,
right,
then I would have to, I would modify it.
Okay, but I just want to make sure we're clear. The city would not bear the cost. That cost would be charged to the water and sewer, which is paid by the residents.
That's correct. It
Okay, I just-
ultimately
I
works
know, I
back
just
through the
want-
rates.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we get that clear before we go into a tangent on that. It's taken from the water and sewer rates, which the resident pays. So I just want to make sure everybody's clear with that. So we would need, does anybody have some question? Councilman, you have a question?
Yeah, wait, so what's the wording change that the legal's proposing?
Legal?
Yeah, I didn't propose the change yet. I was just informing you that the uniform cost that is in the code, that is the cap, that includes the capped amount set by engineering. The way I have worded this provision, the necessary grading and seed would be included in that cost. There was comments for this grading and the seed to be excluded. So I would need to make that modification in the code.
Yeah, I don't want to put it in there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're already paying, and it
But then wouldn't that
continues,
be- but then
it used to
wouldn't-
be 2,000, there
No, I
was a
get it.
limit, and it continues to grow. Now it's based on a percentage.
Yeah, and I understand.
I think it's
that.
fair, yeah.
But what I'm trying to understand is, the goal was not to add, because then you'd have the uniform cost and then plus an additional fee to get your soil.
No, there's not going to be additional fee.
Well,
that's what we're
it's not
talking
an
about.
additional fee?
What council president is proposing is that there would be no additional fee. I was commenting because the way I have worded this provision is that it would be included. And if you want that cost excluded from that calculation, I have to change the language.
Yes, Councilman, are you good, Councilman Hamud?
Okay, maybe okay, all right, fine.
I'm gonna try.
Councilman
I'm gonna try to
Abraham?
help.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about two different things. I think the intent of the council bringing this forward is that the charge to the resident, as it is today, will not increase by adding the grading and the seating. I think what the word include or exclude here is how the formula is calculated year over year. Should the seating and the grading be calculated into the total cost of this activity? So next year when they analyze and say, what are the fees to the resident? Do you count seating and grading as that universal cost, which the resident pays 1/3 approximately?
I don't know off the top.
I think it's
Oh,
about
you would
1/3.
exclude it, now I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, so we would do it for free essentially.
no.
Well, not for free,
It's paid
but
by the
free to
rates.
the resident. yeah.
It's not free to the resident. They're the one paying the water bill. That's the whole
It would be
point.
the cost of an individual project in somebody's backyard.
Yes.
A portion of it is paid by the resident. The rest is paid by the water and sewer system. The question becomes, where do you put the seeding and grading in the formula that is used to calculate the portion that the resident pays, or does it all go on the water system side? Or water and sewer system?
Correct.
I think it's include, exclude.
Said it much better than I did,
Tomato.
Councilman.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it all ends up in the same bucket when you're done.
It is paid, to the council president's point, it's paid by the water and sewer rate, but the issue becomes if you include it in the uniform cost, a portion of the grading and seating will be passed on to the individual project owner when they pay.
As
If you want it
That's what I'm
excluded, it
saying,
will
they're
not
paying
be.
anyways, but I'm fully aware. But what I don't want to happen is what happened. Engineering sent over saying it's going to cost X dollars or so on and so forth. So,
I think we're good with how it is.
yeah.
But if you put exclude, wouldn't that not require engineering to go do it then?
It's just excluded from the cost. Methodology.
We would absorb it in the sewer and water rates. The attorney can rewrite it, though, if you can look at it with him if you'd like to change it. But the main crust is, do you want the residents to get their bill and then some grass?
Well, I understood that.
So which way do you?
I just, if you put exclude, then you wouldn't actually require them to put it into the project. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it's just, then I don't know what we're really doing with it.
We're requiring the DPW, when they
To
leave with
assess
all
it,
their
yeah.
tractors, to not leave the resident with a pile of dirt in their backyard.
So why don't you just write that?
Well, this is what it says.
Okay, we can discuss this.
But, yeah, but I guess they were letting us know that there was a cost. We're well aware of the cost.
Yeah.
And so I guess at this point, this is the first reading. Councilman, well, just for the record though, Councilman El Sawafi, are you okay with amended as we had just discussed?
Yes.
Okay,
Council
Councilman,
President.
thank you, Councilman Mahmoud, do you
Yeah,
agree?
I'm okay with it for now.
Okay,
but we'll talk
and
about
Councilman
it.
Enos? Okay, so Mr. Romer, can you just amend the language and so we can have it clear for the next final reading? All right, any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, unanimous roll will be attached. If not hearing any objections, so is attached. Next item, please.
Item 29, resolution by council members Herrick and Abraham authorizing change order number 8 with CDM Smith shaft enclosure for Dearborn job number 2021-021 in the amount of $150,000 and requesting immediate effect.
All right, and the Henry Ford has requested changes to the caisson closing and design. The caisson at site C2 is within Greenfield Village and has complications due to presence of hydrogen sulfide and has a presence of a 54-inch water transmission lines in the vicinity that could cause a risk of losing ground below the 54-inch water line. Due to the delay in project and the changes in the scope, the anticipated additional cost is $150,000 to complete the project. Immediate effect is being requested. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item.
Item 30, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris awarding a contract to Management Advisory Group in the total amount not to exceed $116,450 for a job classification and salary study and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, full-time classification and compensation study was last completed by Gallagher Benefits Services in 2016. Since that time, the city has been operating with those classifications. Some positions have been reevaluated under the current structure, but the market for many classifications has significantly changed since 2016. The results appear to be uncompetitive for recruitment and retention based on the current model. The evaluation team on behalf of the Human Resources Department recommends entering into a contract to complete a job classification and salary study with Management Advisory Group. The value of the contract is not to exceed $116,450 for the term of the agreement, and immediate effect is being requested. This is something that has been brought out several times. As many people know, governmental jobs are no longer pensions available. Our health care has changed significantly where there's much higher deductibles, and we need to be more competitive to bring good quality people here. And this study will help us figure out which way to go. I think we're good, though, with lifestyle, Chief. With work and flexible lifestyle, we're probably good with that aspect of it. But, you know, the rest of it, we do need to look at compensation on how we can attract people to be employed at the city and continue going forward. Any questions or comments on this item? Hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item.
Item 31, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos awarding a competitive purchase contract to the Spicer Group in a total amount not to exceed $360,000 for neighborhood pool and bathhouse renovation, architectural and engineering services, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, the Recreation and Parks Department, in conjunction with the purchasing, recommends the competitive purchase of pool renovations to the Spicer Group, who've developed plans for the renovation of pool bathhouses at 10 Ike, Summer Stevens, and Lapeer Park pools for a total not to exceed $360,000. Immediate effect is being requested in order to expedite the lengthy development, ensuring construction process. Any questions or comments on this item? Yes. Okay. Hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item.
Item 32, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris awarding a competitive purchase contract to Area Excavating and Construction in an amount not to exceed $925,000 for log jam removal on Rouge River. Also authorizing the finance director to establish revenue and corresponding expenditure budgets in the amount of $750,000 and $175,000 in the General Capital Improvement Fund, Project I-22523. Also approving the finance director to cancel revenue and corresponding expenditure budgets in the amount of $750,000 in the Facility Fund, ARPA 25, and in the amount of $175,000 in the Sewer Fund, ARPA 85, and requesting immediate effect.
All right, previously, DPW maintained the Rouge River waterway, keeping it free from debris and log jams. Due to the over 7 years of neglect, the River Rouge now holds more than 70 log jams from Gully to Michigan Avenue. The true lack of maintenance showed itself during the floods of 2021, destroying private property and a portion of our Dearborn Hills Golf Course. In 2 years following the flood, an effort to remove by volunteers, city's employees, and private contractors had little impact on the Rouge River. It is being requested that the council authorize the award of a log jam removal service to Area Excavating and Construction. The contract shall be a one-time purchase. The value of the contract is not to exceed $925,000. It is also being requested for the finance director to authorize and establish revenue and corresponding expenditures budgets in the amount of $750,000 in the General Capital Improvement Fund, Project I-22523, and in the amount of $175,000 in General Capital Improvement Fund, Project I-22523. It is also requested that we cancel revenue and corresponding expenditure budgets in the same account in the Facility Fund, Project ARPA 25, and corresponding expenditure budgets in the same amount of the Sewer Project ARPA 85. Immediate effect is being requested in order to to begin the removal of the log jams as soon as possible and to potentially allow opening for the 9 holes on the Dearborn Golf Course this season. This has been a long-standing concern of many of my colleagues and myself, and I am very pleased. A lot of times we have contractors, I just want the residents to know, some of us recall where we enter a contract and people just actually quit on the contract. We're very pleased from our conversation with DPW that these people were extremely thorough, went through and counted every single log in area. This is something that we have to do. It's our property, it's our town, and I'm really looking forward to this. I can't see it not being very beneficial and immediately noticeable to the residents in the surrounding area. I mean, we have to take care of that, so. Any questions or comments? Councilwoman Herrick?
Thank you, Council President. Actually, I have 2 questions. The first is regarding the method. I'm really happy we have a contractor who's going to take this on, and I know that we've done our due diligence to find a contractor who, as Council President said, they mapped it out, they walked the whole route of the river and shared that with us. But my question is twofold. First, the approach that was discussed the other day at our mayor's briefing was that they plan to pull the logs out and secure them to the banks away from where they'll be prone to flood and be dragged out in the future. And that's great for the environment because the logs then break down and give back to nature. Is that a method that's been used elsewhere?
So Nicole Golich, Deputy Director at DPW and Facilities. To be clear, they are putting a barge in at Gully and they'll be moving their way down. They're going to place the logs on the side and DPW is going to come through and clean them up after. They're not staying there.
Oh,
We're going to
okay.
be collecting them. They're putting them on the sides of the banks and then we will be going by and collecting them.
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
Yes, yeah, so.
Just one on that one, Councilwoman, if you don't mind. The mayor had indicated something about chipping them.
Shipping them?
Chipping the.
Chipping them. Oh, yeah, they're going to be chipping things away.
And placing them there.
Correct.
So I think maybe that's where the confusion was.
That's probably.
So the
I missed
logs.
the chipping part.
Yeah, the logs are, I know you're saying they're removed, but my understanding is that the logs were gonna be chipped into making mulch and put right there on the site.
That is correct, and there's also
Right.
the ones that can't
they
be used
compost.
for that, they are going to be put on the side, and DPW is gonna be coming through and cleaning that up separately, so.
So they're gonna be repurposed. This is actually a good, I mean,
Yeah,
they're
I
not
knew
gonna
there was
be.
repurposing and I appreciate
That's probably where
that.
the confusion was. There
Okay.
will be logs placed on the side banks that DPW will clean up. There will also be chipping and placing that along the banks as well, so that's probably where the confusion
Okay.
came by.
Okay,
But it
thank
will
you.
be a great operation to see, and it's hopefully going to take 10 weeks, so.
That's not bad. 10 weeks is not bad. I mean, we've been working on
We're
it for a long
excited.
time.
Yeah, it'll be nice, so.
And then
You
the
said a
second part of my question was regarding the company area, the company that excavating. Have they done a project along these lines in the past?
To be completely honest, I'm not aware. I can get that information for you.
Well, is purchasing here?
Area construction. Not sure that log jams is quite a.
The question, well, I mean, it's excavating
Yeah.
company, but the question is, Councilwoman Herrick, would you like to restate your question for the?
Oh, that's okay. Has Area Excavating done a project similar to this in the past where they removed logs out of a river and handled them somehow?
Yes, they have. But part of the qualifications had to be at least, I believe, 3 jobs in the last 5 years,
Okay.
similar scope.
Great, thank you very much.
No problem.
Great.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Paris.
I was just going to make mention, and thank you to our deputy director, kind of mumbled it, but I just wanted to make sure that people understood. You're talking about a 10-week process, once immediate effect, and we get things going.
Correct.
And I appreciate that the chipping would be used as material to be used at the golf course. This has been a long time. I made mention of it during our budget, the meeting preceding this, and it's something that's very important, not just for us as a city to bring in more revenue to the city from the golf course, opening up that 9 holes, but there's a lot of people affected by this and are really watching what we're doing, and I really appreciate bringing this forward, and we're gonna finally get this done.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Hamud.
Yeah, so my question was just kind of on the timing of the project, because I do see here it says to potentially allow for the reopening of the front 9 holes this season. Does the golf season extend into September?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well.
I
yeah,
guess it's
whatever.
weather depending.
Okay. Well, okay, so yeah, so it's 10 weeks from the commencement of the contract, and do we have an idea of when they're ready to start working? Oh, sorry, I'm on mute.
Yeah, they're ready to go. As soon as
Okay.
we're done, we'll finish the contract. So hopefully we can get them started in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, soon.
So next couple, well, I mean, because we're talking on the scale of like very small weeks, so I'm just wondering, are they gonna start like next week, or are they gonna start in?
We gotta
4
pass,
weeks?
we gotta pass it
Gotta
first.
pass.
I understand, which is
Correct.
tonight, but I'm just.
Correct.
Because
They're
people
ready to
will
go
be
as soon
asking
as
about
we
this.
pass it, so I would say I would give them at least a week from the time you guys pass
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so that's actually pretty short.
Yeah.
Well, it's the-
Okay, that's fine.
I have to
Oh.
correct that,
All
because
right, yeah.
that depends on how quickly the contract can get completed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
There's
like,
a
it's
lot of things going on, certificate of insurance, making sure, everything's.
There's a lot of things that have to happen
Cross the
first.
Ts and dot the Is.
So like 3 weeks from now?
Maximum.
Okay, I just need a
Maximum.
ballpark.
Sure, I'd say
Thank you.
2 weeks is our
After
average.
council,
Yeah.
it's 8 days.
I just like to know in general. Okay, thank you.
Understood. Yep.
Yeah.
And permits have been obtained.
All right.
Permits.
Councilman Enos.
We got a bunch of pictures of the log jams. Is there anywhere the residents can see those pictures, the log jams?
We can share.
Okay.
Absolutely. They did a whole drone video.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, I've seen some with Tim in them and stuff, so I know they're out there, but, yeah,
There's a lot
if you
of
can,
them. There's a lot
maybe
of
you
them.
could send them to our communications department and see if they can post it on the website.
No, I know. No, yeah, absolutely. We'll get it taken care of.
All right.
I'm like,
I want a picture of Tim swinging an axe.
I'm sure there is one. No problem.
All right, thank you both, thank you, Mr. Rogowski and Ms. Golish, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the log jams? Okay, yes, absolutely.
So what's gonna happen with the other 9
So,
holes?
ma'am, just first you gotta
Betsy
come up.
Andreu, I live in Dearborn Hills. What's gonna happen with the other 9 holes on the other side of Telegraph?
Okay, the chief of staff is not here. No, we have the director. We'll have him come up and ask you what's gonna happen with the other 9 holes.
And why is it taking so long to even do something?
Okay, well,
Sean Fletcher, Director of Parks and Recreation. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What is going to happen with the other 9 holes on the other side of Telegraph? And why is it taking so long to even get this, to clear it up? It was closed last year and there was a lot of crime there. It's been a nuisance.
Yeah, there was obviously a bid process that we had to go through, and the hope would be, once I think the intent was to start near Dearborn Hills, get those log jams removed so we can open back up as soon as possible. We'll probably have there's some big equipment that's gonna be in there, so we'll probably have to do some restoration of some of the areas in and around some tee boxes and holes. But as soon as we can get that course, nobody wants to get it open quite quicker than we do, so that we can start to generate a little more.
Okay, and on the other side of Telegraph, is that gonna be opened?
We have 9 holes open currently.
Okay,
I think
okay.
it's 7 on one side, 2 on the other.
Okay.
But then get the rest of the holes open after the log jams are removed.
Okay, thank you.
all right, thank you very much, appreciate that. Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, unanimous roll, if hearing no objection, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item.
Item 33, resolution by council members Herrick and El Sawafi authorizing additional expenditures to OHM advisors in the amount of $95,000 for the design of rain gardens.
Okay, this is a companion item with another one to follow. So the city has received a grant from SEMCOG totaling $95,000 for the purpose of installing rain gardens to support the expansion of green infrastructure to reduce flood potential and to support overall greening throughout our city. The city currently has a purchase order in the amount of $910,312 with OHM Advisors, approved by the council for hydraulical evaluation of our city storm sewers. Purchasing is requesting that the Department of Public Works and Facility allow to add $95,000 to the purchase order for the design of rain guards. This will be charged to the General Capital Improvement Fund, Capital Project Support and Architectural Engineering Services, Project I-26423. Is there any questions or comments on this item? Councilman Herrick.
Thank you, Council President. I know you said that this is a companion piece to another item that we're going to be addressing, but I apologize, I don't remember what that is. My question is regarding, do we know where these rain gardens are to be installed at this point?
Yeah, somebody can answer that, but I think at the mayor's briefing and at the committee of the whole, they said that there was not an exact spot for them. The companion piece has to do with recognizing which you'll see, recognizing the money that it came from a grant from DPH, which we'll get to, but Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, sir. Michael Kennedy, Finance Director. As I can tell you, it's item number 37. It's a recognition of the grant from SEMCOG.
Right.
The funding source for the $95,000 that you're appropriating to OHM for.
Right, it came a little awkward in our ordinance, in our meeting. Yeah, we're appropriating the money that we haven't yet allocated, so that's why the 37. But the question regarding Chief, locations, the mayor had indicated that there has not, do you want to speak on, there has not been set in the location yet?
Yes, that's correct, Council President, and I think that the methodology of identifying these locations will kind of be folded into like our flood mitigation and identifying the locations that would benefit the most.
Thank you, and I'm sure we'll hear from OHM regarding that aspect as well.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Councilman Hammoud?
Yeah, so I guess on what you just said, which is hearing from OHM, we did give them almost $1 million contract on the sewer study, and we were promised updates, and we haven't gotten any. So what's up with that? We haven't heard from them, actually.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the contract had any update provisions.
It did.
You sat, I know, well, you sat, I appointed you to sit on that
remember,
commission,
yeah,
so
I did.
I would expect you to give us the updates.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in direct contact with the contractors. I'd be happy to be.
I
don't
get.
think that's in my purview.
I guess, yeah, no, I would say you're right about that. I am not sure if they have provisions to update. I'm assuming they're updating the administration. Would you like to speak on that?
Engineering can provide updates.
Okay, are they here?
They are not, so we'll
They're
make
not
sure to
here.
forward it via.
Yeah, send it to all council. Councilman Hammoud is right. It's been a while. We did speak on it, and we know that they're doing a good job. I know that you were very happy with how thorough it was and reported back to the council that it was thorough. But yes, the operation and them doing their job, we would like to get a report back. When you can, send it to all council. All right. Thank you, Councilman Hammoud. Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, hearing and seeing no objection, unanimous, will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 34, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris authorizing the finance director to recognize the 2023 Detroit Wayne County Mental Health Authority grant awarded to the Dearborn Police Department in the amount of $40,000 and account number 101-2410-330-0790 and appropriate the same in account number 101-241-511-98-00, also authorizing the finance director to add 10 part-time slots in the part-time position control for the police department and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you. For the 9th consecutive year, the Dearborn Police Department has been awarded a grant from the Wayne County Mental Health Authority. The grant is in the amount of $40,000. The Dearborn Police Department will utilize the funds to hire 10 youth as community service agents and provide part-time employment through September 30th, 2023. This is a reimbursement grant and requires no local match from our taxpayers. Immediate effect is being requested as recruitment will begin May 1st of 2023, and the actual youth work program commences on June 15th, 2023, and ends on September 30th, 2023. With immediate effect is being requested. Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous will be attached. Next item.
Item 35, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Herrick, authorizing the finance director to establish neighborhood pool renovation project I-25823 and to recognize and appropriate $6 million in state grant funds received for neighborhood pool renovation. Also authorizing the mayor to sign and execute grant documents on behalf of the city, subject to review and approval by Corporation Council and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, thank you. Public Act 166 of 2022 appropriated $6 million to the City of Dearborn Parks and Recreation Department for renovations of neighborhood pools. The grant funding will include architectural and engineering services, as well as renovations of bathhouse facilities, filtration systems, fencing, as well as pool decks at Ten Eyck, Summer Stevens, and Lapeer pools. This grant is being provided through the Michigan Economic and Development Corporation and is available through December 31st of 2026. The city will receive 50% of the funding once the grants agreement is fully executed and will receive the balance once the first payment has been exhausted and documented of spending has been provided. It is requested that the finance director be authorized to recognize and appropriate the grant in the facilities fund. Purchases under the grant must follow the city's purchasing ordinance, and any additional required approvals will come back to the council for consideration. Immediate effect is being requested as well. Any questions or comments on this? Councilman Pears.
Thank you, Council President. Obviously, in our backup material, we have Ten Eyck, Summer Stevens, and Lapeer Park in particular that are within the scope of what we're looking at here. $6 million, that's a lot, and we want to keep our pools up to date so we could use them long-term. But a question that I have that I'm not seeing in the material, other than it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages in, but it's part of the MEDC grant. It shows performance schedule. I would just like to understand from our Recreation and Parks Director possibly what the timeline is of getting this complete. Because what I'm reading at, maybe I might be reading this wrong, says a starting date October 1st and an ending date December 31st, 2024. So are we taking one pool at a time? Are we doing all three? Is this going to impact next year, some of these pools even opening up? I'm just looking at this as possibly a time schedule that we might be looking at.
Sean Fletcher, Parks and Recreation Director. I would say that's probably to be determined. Once we get the architectural and engineering and get those projects bid, it would depend on the company and what their scale is. Could they do all three pools in one season? That might be kind of tough, but I don't have that answer. If it's a big enough company, they might be able to do everything all at once, but I would assume they'd probably be staggered. Not really sure. We'd love it if they could do them all at one time.
Okay, and that's something that's going to still need to be determined because I know people are going to be watching what we're doing.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to provide those timely updates, as we have that information.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, hearing, seeing none, unanimous roll be attached. Thank you.
Item 36, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos authorizing the finance director to recognize funds in the amount of $8,710,968 into various funds for the local Community Stabilization Act revenue budget and requesting immediate effect.
All right, the LCSA is a legislative calculative formula for reimbursement and is made up of two payments from the state of Michigan, one in October and the second one in May. The May has a tendency to fluctuate based on the state formula, and this year the amount provided as additional surplus that was not anticipated. The council has adopted $19,401,471,000 for as LCSA revenue for fiscal year 2023, and the actual received final payment exceeds the adopted budget by $8,710,968. It is requested the finance director be authorized to recognize the additional revenue. The additional revenue will be deposited in the appropriate funds for future use in programs and expenditures. The $4.2 million of general fund monies that will help cover the adopted $1.9 million of general use fund balance in fiscal year 2023 coming to the end of this month, June 30th of 2023, and requesting immediate effect. Mr. Kennedy, if you'd like to come forward, this for me is kind of something that was a little bit of a challenge when I started, and I want the residents to understand what this is. So the LCSA, when I started, was a supplemental tax that would be reverted back to the cities to offset personal property tax. So when I started, there was personal property tax was being phased out, and we were told that it was going to be disaster. As it turned out, I called my colleagues and asked for a meeting and was able to get the treasurer of the state on our phone where we had a meeting in the office on a speakerphone where they told us there's an exact formula to this methodology. So the 1 year we received 10 million extra, we were told people didn't take the money, didn't file the right forms. I didn't believe that. That's why we got extra money. Mr. Kennedy, I just want to make sure the residents know, this now means that we have almost $28 million being recouped on LCSA, which is the largest I've ever seen. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. My opinion is that we need to budget as close to the number as possible. And I understand it's hard to know the exact amount, but we have usually budgeted, if I'm correct, that you're the finance guy, around $16 million. This is revenue sharing that comes back. The state turned around and made a law, a statute, that whatever was left, they couldn't touch it, they couldn't reallocate it, it would come back to the cities, so that the cities can go ahead and operate. As many people are aware, the state is very, very healthy and has a tremendous surplus, so I can understand the fluctuation, but we're talking $28 million when the last, we usually budget, between 16 and 18 million. Is that correct?
Correct. For next year, I believe the number is 19,625 is what we have budgeted that we just adopted.
Yes.
Part of the issue, there's two folds. So what you stated earlier is partially correct. Some people don't file correctly and there is excess that's distributed in May. So that creates a variable that we can't predict who's going to file, how much exact. The other thing is when we went into last year's, or the current year's fiscal budget, we knew we were losing the 3.5 mils that were not renewed. And so we baked that into our budget, and we had a faulty assumption with that because tax year is always 1 year behind.
That's right.
So that's where we came out a little to the positive this year, and we built that in properly this year with the estimated loss of the 3.5 mils that would be associated with this LCSA. That's roughly $3.2 million.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. Would you also say that the variation is also not due to people not filing correctly, but also depending on how much the state has revenue and how the revenue takes in?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I would argue that that would be the larger portion. My only concern is that we try to get it closer to what it is so we know what we're dealing with. Like I said, you were here, I'm the one that doesn't clap when we're overfunded by 225% in a pension fund. It means that our estimates were horrible. So I'm glad to get the $8 million, but I just would like to make sure that we're estimating close to where we're at so we know what we have to expend. But you're indicating that you're still, even though it's 19.4, you're anticipating about 19.6 for next year as well, even though it was 27 million this year.
Correct. Because we're going to have loss from the 3.5 mils. But each year, just like inflation, it does go up because you collect more taxes and it goes in there, so.
Right. Well, this year was 5%, I believe.
Correct.
The state income, the state increase. Okay, I just want to make sure. I mean, this is a good thing, but just for some of the people, I mean, when I started, this was supposed to be the most disastrous thing in the world, and it's been a windfall every year since I've been here. You can't make it up. I had to call the state treasurer to give them the information. You can't make this up. And that's what happened. But our residents need to know what's going on, because this puts us in the better position than we're at, and that's all.
Rest assured, my full insight is to do the best estimate that we can with the information that we have at the time. Now, that does change from time to time, so that does affect it, but that's our goal, to provide consistent and comparable data that's based on sound estimates.
I appreciate that, Mr. Kennedy. Councilman Hamud.
Just like 2 words for everyone watching, because we got really deep into the financial thing. We ended up with extra money that we didn't expect from the state government. It's a good thing.
That's right.
And he's beating on Mike Kennedy because he didn't predict it. That's all it is.
If that's what you got out of it, that's bad. Because what I was saying is that the city past administration and the past finance director said that the city would go completely in the opposite in a bad situation with the personal property tax loss. And it was actually a windfall. And I really do believe that we should estimate as close as possible. So I'm kind of concerned that you're still at 19.6 when we had 18 million extra. So.
But we're going backwards from 27.
I understand, and it's because of last year. What he's indicating is the 3.5 mil loss from the voter does reduce our LCSA by a certain portion, which we're all aware of when we changed the library last year, that we would lose a certain portion, and we asked for that amount. So I always like to be conservative, but I like to get a little bit closer, that's all.
Thank
That's all
you.
I'm
You
saying.
took my last comment, because if I'm standing up here and telling you we're $5 million short, then he will be really
Then I'll be
chastising
beating
me.
on you too.
So,
Yeah, the goal is to come close as possible, but I think 8 million out of 27 is a little bit, I mean, percent, I'm not at math, but that's, what is it, 20-some percent? That's a little, I'd like to be within 5%, if possible.
It's probably like 30-something%.
Well, there you go. There's the engineer for you. That's all I'm saying. I want the residents to know that this is important. This is state sharing revenue. It's extremely important. It helps us operate the things that we are doing and the things that we're going forward and keep our budget sound. But we do appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
Any
welcome.
other questions or comments from my colleagues on this?
I think you're great.
All right. Hearing and seeing none, a unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item number 37 by council member, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos, authorizing the finance director to recognize and appropriate the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, SEMCOG, Rain Garden Grant in the amount of $95,000 and authorizing the signing of the grant agreement on behalf of the city and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, this is the companion piece from item 33, where Dearborn has been awarded the $95,000 in funding from Rain Gardens by SEMCOG, the Regional Review Committee, through the EPA Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. The grant was obtained through our Department of Public Health to implement rain gardens across the city. The rain gardens are sunken-in areas that gather and retain water from roots, driveways, and streets, allowing to absorb 30% more water into the ground than the traditional gardens. To reduce stormwater runoff, the city is focusing on green stormwater infrastructure. The funds are allocated earlier in item number 33 to the installation of rain gardens on public properties throughout Dearborn, and immediate effect is being requested. We did have our director of DPH show up to our committee of the whole meeting and explain to us a little bit about it. We did congratulate him. There is a good thing going around, I think a healthy competition in the departments where everyone is trying to see who can get a higher grant. So I do appreciate that. It's always competitive when the goal is to reach some additional dollars. So I know the fire chief recently received a grant. And these are challenging under the administration currently, and this council authorized and created a philanthropy and grants department. And I said it earlier in my earlier in our budget hearing, as well as the state of the city. To date, the department has gained $30 million in grants to the city of Dearborn. I asked the chief, fire chief, who was our lead grant writer in the past, and he said over 11 years he was able to gain $22 million. So just to give you the disparity of what one department can bring forward, it's a really beneficial. So we appreciate DPH going out and getting this $95,000 to help out. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Mr. Clerk, immediate effect is being requested?
Yes.
Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll be attached. Next item, please.
Item 38, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos, adopting the proposed amended council rules of order by adding section 8.9 and 11.
Okay, the proposed amendment for the council rules of order, the amendments are the following: section 8.9, a motion to declare waiver of attorney-client privilege, and 11 appearance before boards and commissions. I know we had some discussion before. Councilman Abraham, do you have something to add?
Yeah, if my colleagues will allow me, I'd like to amend my offer to only add section 8.9 to the resolution and remove section 11 from the proposed resolution.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, the amendment by Councilman Abraham, who had offered this, is to remove Rule 11 and leave Rule 8.9 as a motion to declare waiver of attorney-client privilege. The motion shall require support, and an outcome shall be decided by 2/3 of the vote. Councilman Enos, do you agree with the amendment since you were the supporter?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilman Enos has support. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on this? Councilwoman Herrick?
I'd like to thank my colleagues on council, Councilman Abraham and Councilman Enos, for amending their proposal. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Councilman Hamud?
So I wasn't able to speak on this on Thursday because
Yeah.
I had lost my voice, so I was gesturing and whispering and using placards. But I'm really happy that you guys removed Section 11 because while there are quasi-judicial bodies whose job it is to perform certain roles within the administrative aspect of the city, I do still think that council should be able to attend any kind of public meetings, especially in their rights as a private citizen of the city and as a resident. So attending meetings and speaking, actually. So even though it might not be necessarily in the norms of what council members do, I still do believe that we should keep our rules to the minimum that are required to run our meetings, not necessarily use them to gag or otherwise affect council members outside of the rules of order of our meetings that are here. So I do appreciate Councilman Abraham amending the motion to change the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. As I indicated to my colleagues before and a week before, letting them know our intention and the intention of this body is, and I had indicated it clearly, that it was not to get a simple majority and push these rules through. These are our rules. We have court proceedings that indicate that the rules of this body can be enforced upon the body, and that's not the intent. The intent is to allow these bodies to not be influenced without the entire council having an ability to speak. But as I indicated from day one, there is no, it's not the intention to get a simple majority and put these in the rules, or get 5 votes, put this in the rules. We need to be, these rules are supposed to last. And as you've seen, most of my colleagues have seen, these rules are good to have in place so that other bodies know how to operate and where to go to. And as Councilman Abraham had indicated, it was brought up because it happened, just like a waiver of an attorney-private privilege, which it was total in support of, and I think we had a unanimous. As I indicated, rules, I think, should be really together on them, and that's why at this time I had talked to my colleagues beforehand and made sure that we removed this so that we could get the first part through, because I think we are unanimous on that. And if we decide to revisit it at the end, we can go forward. But I will state to the residents that I do not believe that a council member should be speaking at a commission that directly reports to the council body and influencing them improperly when they're there to do their job, especially when other members of the council cannot attend unanimously with them and speak to them as well. I believe that they should have their own autonomy since they report directly back to the council. Questions were asked about the zoning board. We create the zoning ordinance and write the zoning ordinance, not the zoning board. So I don't believe it's proper. Also, I want to make it clear to the residents, a past president of the Planning Commission, a longstanding member of the community, called myself and complained about this, called another council member and complained about it, said that the council member should not attend, felt it was illegal. I did not believe it was illegal, but I didn't feel that council members should speak out when other members are not there to influence a body that has been placed there and it's not elected, and that comes back before us. But again, for the spirit of keeping the council rules going and for the body to be united, we decided to remove that portion. Those that choose to do that, they can answer to the voters at the end if they feel that they're influencing going on from there as well. At this time, is there any other questions or comments on it?
I have a comment.
Councilman Abraham?
Yeah. I believe this council is most effective when we can deliberate and gain consensus and at least have an appearance of being unified. It doesn't always work that way. We don't expect it to work that way each and every time. But I think specifically when it comes to our council rules, I think it's the council president's prerogative to bring things forward and see how the council reacts. It doesn't happen very often. I don't think it's necessary unless there is something particularly happening that is perhaps new or hasn't been addressed in the rules of order in the past. I, for one, don't believe the council members belong at the meetings of the committees and the commissions. It's my own opinion. Those are appointed positions by the mayor and the council. I believe they should be allowed to do their jobs independently. And secondarily, I don't want to create an environment where a petitioner, an applicant, or a resident is then lobbying council members to come to those meetings on their behalf. I think that will create a circus. It's kind of like, who can we get to show up to support my zoning variance for my garage I want to build on the property line? I really don't want to be involved with that, and I think the more the council participates in those commissions and committee activities, I just think it's a catalyst to being asked to get even more and more involved. That's just my opinion. It's not on the table today. We could talk about it all night if we want to,
Right.
but it's not what we're voting on.
That's correct. I appreciate it. Councilwoman Herrick, you had something to add?
Yes, thank you, since the conversation was opened. Council President said that it happened, so I'm not sure which meeting you're referring to that it happened, that a council member spoke to one of the bodies in question here. Any of the meetings that I've been to, no council members have addressed those bodies. And my reason for attending any of those meetings is to gather information, because as my colleague, Councilman Paris, has pointed out, our meetings are not, all the other commission meetings are not televised or recorded for us to be able to see the conversation between those who are appointed to those bodies. These commissioners are appointed because of their expertise in the area of whichever commission it is that they're serving on, as well as their passion for serving their city. And I gain knowledge by hearing the discussion of those experts on whatever topic is before them. And it may be an item that's going to be coming to council eventually, or it may not. Just me as a resident and me serving the public, I feel I do a better job when I'm better informed. And hearing the deliberation by those experts helps me do a better job for our residents. Another thing that I want to I think everybody on this council takes very seriously is the oath that we took. And part of it that is to not speak up or vote upon or be part of a conversation if there is an item with which we have a personal conflict of interest. And therefore, when I do attend other meetings, I generally don't speak unless I'm asked to speak. And for most commissions, and I've seen this happen with my colleagues on council when we attend, we are welcomed by those bodies because they appreciate that we're taking an interest in their work and take seriously the value that they bring by being volunteer commissioners or committee members. And again, I take it very seriously, you know, if they ask me to speak, which I have been asked to speak at commission meetings, just to lend perspective, to share some knowledge I might have that body didn't necessarily have that information prior to that. But of the three groups, the Planning Commission and the other two groups that we had been discussing previously, I have not spoken at those meetings, and I've held myself accountable, and I believe that this current body does the same. And I know that our council rules of order will live on beyond those of us who are sitting before you today, and that's the idea, is that it governs our actions, but also the council going forward. But at this point, I have not heard an example that a council member has abused their power in any way, or I have not heard that there's been any intimidation regarding a single matter, if there is an incident that one of these, our council members has been involved with, I would hope that that's been addressed one-on-one with that council member. Thank you.
Well, thank you. No, I appreciate it. But just to clarify, when I said it happened, there was a complaint from a past chair that called myself and another council person. And to be clear, this has never been an issue, as you indicated, and you didn't speak, because no other council body besides this one has ever done it. I just want to make sure that's clear. It didn't, when I said it happened, is that there was a complaint. This wasn't derived by myself. It was a complaint that the person called myself and the councilman Paris as well. So I want to leave it at that.
Well, actually, I'd like to address that because
Okay, go ahead.
the previous, the person who I believe made the complaint to you actually welcomed council members to past planning commission meetings and was appreciative. And so that was very interesting that it became an issue this year. And it makes me wonder why it's an issue now and it had not been in the past. Also, I'd like to note that I talked to city council members in 4 other municipalities in southeastern Michigan today. And every council addresses these matters differently. And what we have works for us, and that's partly to your credit, Council President, because you're always looking for ways to improve our council rules of order. But some cities have council members who regularly attend or are assigned to attend commission meetings and be a liaison between the commission and the council. Some commissioners, some cities have commissions that welcome council members just to attend, to speak. So what's working, what we have been doing seems to be working as we have it now. Thank you.
Councilman Avery.
Yeah, I just want to make one final comment, just so we're clear, because I think it's getting a little fuzzy. The debate about attending meetings and speaking. And I'll say it because I offered the Section 11. Section 11 did not ever prevent the council from attending the meetings. It precluded them from influencing through speaking at the meetings. And I think that's a clear distinction. It's been brought up that, you know, we should be able to attend meetings and we never speak. Well, that's exactly what the proposed Rule 11 says. You can attend meetings and not influence the board by speaking. So I don't know why it's so contentious if what is written is exactly what's already happening, but regardless, without a unified vision and direction and consensus amongst the colleagues, that's the reason I chose to withdraw Rule 11, proposed Rule 11.
Thank you, Councilman, for the clarification. Okay, anything else on this one? Councilman Pierce, you want to add something else?
Just real quickly, Council President, thank you for that. What I wanted to say, if anybody wanted to see really in its entirety what was presented and why and any backup material, our council rules of order are available online for anybody to see at any time. Okay, and also what was proposed for tonight that's been withdrawn is in the backup material. And I appreciate the direction that we have gone with this tonight. And thank you.
Yeah, well, that's what I said a week ago when we had the conversation privately. So I don't say one thing and then different on the TV. So it's exactly what I said a week ago to both my colleagues separately, and I think Councilman Abraham has summed it up. So I'd like to move forward on it and make sure we pass the other part, which I believe we are unanimous on as far as the waiver. So Mr. Clerk, where are we at this stage? I know we took some time here.
Well, since you removed that one item, we can vote on it. I can reread it and take that part out, and then we can take the vote.
Okay, yeah, reread it, and let's have an immediate effect, and I would like a roll call vote.
Okay. So now, item 38 reads, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos adopting the proposed amended council rule of order by adding section 8.9 and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, again, a motion, the amendment for 8.9 to declare waiver of attorney-client privilege. The motion shall require the support and an outcome shall be decided by 2/3 of the vote. That is the change. Questions or comments on this item? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the roll call vote?
Councilmember Herrick.
Immediate effect, I'm sorry, you have the immediate effect?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
7 yeas, the resolution passes.
All right, next item, please.
Item number 39, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos approving the 2023 and 2024 local officials compensation commission reports.
Okay, this is the 23-24 local officials commission compensation, the LOC report for the council. Elected officials only have 30 days to affirm the determination of the LOCC. The information by the council is requires approval by 2/3 vote per our charter, section 6.6. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, Mr. Clerk, we would need a roll call vote, right?
I don't think
No?
so.
You don't need one. It has to have 2/3. So if you unanimously adopted, you've hit the 2/3.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. When I seen the 2/3, I would assume they would want that, but I appreciate that. Okay, any questions or comments?
I do.
Councilwoman Herrick?
I would just like to say thank you to the local officials, compensation commission members for meeting this year and doing the research and meeting with several council members regarding this matter. So thank you for your service.
All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item, please.
Item 40, resolution by council members Herrick and El Sawafi concurring in the reappointment of Gary Filiak to the Commission of Disability Concerns with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, thank you very much, Clerk. The rest of these wonderful people are volunteering their time. I want people to make sure that the residents understand these commissions and boards are extremely important, and they are volunteering their time. It's a great way to be involved at a limited scope and not spending a Tuesday night all night in the council chamber. So it's a good way to handle it. Okay, so we thank them all, and all of these are immediate effect requested. The first item is Mr. Gary Flick to serve on the Commission of Disability Concerns. This is a reappointment for Mr. Flick and for a 3-year term ending in June 30th, 2026. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, unanimous roll shall be taxed. Next item, please.
Item 41, resolution by council members Enos and Abraham concurring in the reappointment of Kyle Remakers to the Traffic Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, and then, again, Mr. Remakers be appointed to the Traffic Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2026. We do thank him for his service. Any questions or comments on this reappointment? Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to ask, do we possibly know for the Traffic Commission in particular, if there are any other vacancies on that commission? Or is this filling or reappointing just the one?
I can get that information for you tomorrow.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm just interested to know if there's any other vacancies, because I would have the possibility of recommending, in the future, so I appreciate that.
All right, any other questions or comments on this item?
Well, along those lines, I think we asked.
Councilman Herrick?
Yeah, but I think we had asked for any other openings on commissions.
Yes, I requested
as well,
that.
and I don't know that we received a list yet.
No, that was Thursday. We did not receive, we requested if there was any on the count, if there was any openings that you would like to let us know so the council may advise. But these items were already offered and supported for, but we have not received it. You're correct yet. We offered it, I asked it on Thursday to be sent to all bodies. So again, these are the mayor appointees. We just asked if there was some availability that the council may make some suggestions to the administration. All right, any other questions or comments on Mr. Remakers? Any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 42, resolution by council members Abraham and Herrick concurring in the reappointment of Lucia Glees to the Senior Citizen Commission with the term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, again, we'd like to thank the reappointment of Lucia Glees to the Senior Citizens Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2026, again with immediate effects. Any other questions or comments on this item? Any objection to unanimous roll? Hearing none, unanimous roll be attached. Next item.
Item 43, resolution by council members Paris and Enos concurring in the reappointment of Paul Dreas to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority with the term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, Mr. Paul Davis should serve on the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. This is a reappointment. Mr. Doris is requesting a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026 with immediate effect. Any questions or comments on this item? Any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, hearing none, unanimous roll shall be attached.
Item 44, resolution by council members Paris and Herrick concurring in the reappointment of Michael Clay to the Demolition Board of Appeals with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This is for Michael Clay to serve on the Demolition Board of Appeals. It's a reappointment for Mr. Clay for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026. Does anyone from the council have any questions on this item or from the public? Hearing none and seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please, Mr. Clerk. Oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody have a comment?
We're able to do that with, okay. just for here.
Yeah. We can do it with 4. You won't get
Okay.
immediate effect. Well, we got Al Sawafi, I think, is he on?
That's what I wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay. Should we do a roll call?
We still need 5.
Is the councilman's on, you can do unanimous.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, next item, please, then.
Item 45, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos concurring in the reappointment of Melissa Krieger to the City Beautiful Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This appointment is for Ms. Melissa Krieger to serve on the City Beautiful Commission, reappointing for a 3-year term through June 30th, 2026. Any questions or comments on this item from the public or from the council? Okay, seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 46, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris concurring in the reappointment of Kathleen Malone to the City Beautiful Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This is for Ms. Kathleen Malone to serve on the City Beautiful Commission as a reappointment for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026. Any questions or comments from the public or from the council? Seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 47, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos concurring in the appointment of Barbara Sala to the City Beautiful Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This item is for Ms. Barbara Sala to serve on the commission, City Beautiful Commission for a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2026. Any questions or comments from the public or the council on this item? Seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 48, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris concurring in the reappointment of Jihan Jawad to the Library Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This is for Jihan Jawad to serve on the Library Commission as a reappointment for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026. Any questions or comments from the public or from the council on this item? Seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 49, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos concurring in the reappointment of Dr. Ryan Lazar to the Library Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This appointment for Dr. Ryan Lazar is for a 3-year reappointment for a 3-year term through June 30th, 2026 on the Library Commission. Any questions from the public or the council on this item? Seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 50, resolution by council members Abraham and Serini concurring in the reappointment of Marcel Potorek to the Library Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This is for Marcel Potorek to serve on the Library Commission with a reappointment for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026. Any questions or comments from the public or from the council? Seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
Item 51, resolution by council members Herrick and Enos concurring in the reappointment of Glenn Green to the Zoning Board of Appeals and with a term ending June 30th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
This item is for Glenn Green to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals with a reappointment for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026. Any questions from the public or the council on this item? Seeing none, unanimous roll will be attached. Next item, please.
We have 3 walk-on supplementary agenda items. The first one is resolution in need of offer and support, requesting concurrence in the reappointment of Dr. Paul Dreos to the Economic Development Corporation with a term ending June 30th, 2029, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, offered by Councilman Paris, supported by Councilman Enos. Any questions or comments? Again, we thank him for his reappointment. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, and a unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 2, resolution in need of offer and support, requesting that the finance director be authorized to establish the project in the designated purposes fund with Doken Construction, Inc. in the amount of $15,000 for the construction inspection of the sanitary sewer construction for 22274 Cherry Hill, and requesting immediate effect.
Okay. Do we have an offer on this? This was provided in email and was also briefed by our Director Hawkins on our committee of the whole regarding to the genesis behind that. Offered by Councilman Enos.
Support.
Supported by Councilman Abraham. Okay. Any questions or comments on this item?
Just a quick question.
Councilman Herrick?
Thank you. So the funds that are being, the $15,000, is that provided by the resident or is that tax dollars?
Good evening, council. Thank you for your question. Nicole Gulch, Deputy Director of DPW and Finance. This is actually being provided by the construction company, so the resident.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any questions or comments on this item? Any objection, unanimous roll? Okay, hearing none, unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 3, resolution in need of offer and support requesting to authorize the addition of the new position and title of part-time mechanic to fiscal year 2023 budget in the Central Garage Division for the Department of Public Works and Facilities. Also requesting that the finance director be authorized to process the addition of the part-time mechanic position in the Central Garage Division and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, the Department of Public Works and Facility, I'm sorry, Councilman, we had an offer, I apologize, I was reading it, but we had an offer by Councilman Hamud and supported. No, thank you, no, I understand, and supported by Councilwoman Herrick. So the Department of Public Works and Facilities is requesting to add a new title change to a salary plan in the Central Garage as a part-time mechanic. The position would be responsible for maintaining and repairing fleet vehicles for an assigned area and will repair and maintain city equipment. Immediate effect is being requested. This has been brought up to the committee of the whole and others regarding the dire need of mechanics in our department to keep our machinery running and operating properly. So I believe we're all in support of this. So any questions or comments on this item?
Appreciate everyone's enthusiasm.
Yeah, good. All right, any objection to unanimous roll? Hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Nothing further from the clerk's office, thank you.
All right, so I have a couple of things, thank you. I want to thank Access and the CEO, Ma Frage. Craig, you have the pictures there? All right, so here's a picture, a throwback to the 70s, one that I got off a video from my mom. Access Center in Dearborn. I want to tell you, Access is a big part of the community. They do a tremendous amount of work. And on my tenure as the council president, I've instituted a few things such as a ride-along with our police department, which was granted by our police chief, is to allow our council members to see what's going on in the community. Access had contacted us and said, if you'd like to have a tour of the Access facilities, some of my colleagues were able to come and see what was going on. I know that, Councilman Enos was there, Councilman Herrick. Yeah, some of us, yeah. Very, very impressive from where Access started with, we hear stories of Amazon and Microsoft from the garages. And you see the photo there where they wrote in crayon Access. And to today, Craig, do you have that? Yeah, there you go. That's the building today, where they have multiple outlets throughout the country, job placement programs, incredible programs that they run, and they work throughout Access. And then the last photo, and their new Access Recovery Center, which the city has partnered with, gave them some land area for, they're gonna have a drug treatment center, and which is tremendous in need in the area. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank Access and my colleagues that could attend. I know scheduling was difficult. We scheduled it way out, trying, and it was still in conflict with a parade. It's not easy to schedule all this stuff, so I do appreciate the colleagues for showing up there and touring it. I also wanted to congratulate the mayor on being selected to serve as an advisory board of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, where their primary role is to help guide policy and membership. It's a tremendous honor. I know that the mayor was very proud of it, and I read the posting. I thought it was really nice that he said he sat next to a gentleman from Texas, I believe. Arlington, Texas, that was a Fortune High School grad.
Oh, wow.
Bob, that's not bad, huh? Class of 90 I was, so I don't know what class he was, but yes. It was very meaningful. I talked to the mayor about it, as some of the colleagues, some of the members might have heard earlier. The mayor was unable to attend today for a death on his family side, on his aunt passing, so we gave his condolences to that. But I know this meant a lot to him, being selected by this group, and to be sitting next to a gentleman that was a high school graduate of Fortune. Just shows you the reach of Dearborn and what Dearborn has accomplished. I thought it was excellent, and we know he's going to represent us very well, so we can't wait to see what comes out of that. Also, I just wanted to make another mention of Eid al-Fitr, which is the ending of the, not Ramadan, it is a pilgrimage that happens in the Islamic calendar, and that would be happening soon as well. So anybody celebrating, I'd just like to congratulate and welcome them as well. That would be June 28th, and our offices will be closed at that time as well. We will not have a meeting before July 4th, so I wanted to tell everybody happy July 4th. And also, I was very fortunate, me and my wife took a nice trip up to Camp Dearborn for a little program that I posted on my Facebook, our CDTV show, and the 75th Annual Summer Activity Guide. I know our director had left, but where can we get these at? John, can we talk about this? This was absolutely excellent. Not only did I have a great time going out to Camp Dearborn and seeing the new amenities and the new tents, you guys should check them out, it's incredible. And the paddle boats, I know, Councilman Enos, you had somebody, you guys in your chat complaining about those paddle boats. They're like a yacht. They're huge. I mean, they had the relic sitting at the top that we had from the 70s. And Camp Dearborn, folks, is going nowhere. This is just the beginning. We are working towards it. There's a lot of work to do there. If you go up there, you'll see that the days when we were kids, where we had tremendous amount of parking, they're reducing parking's asphalt and putting more greenery. We're going in the right direction, and I was very, very proud of it. Mr. Walsh, can you speak? This thing here, I like to know who printed this. It was beautiful.
Absolutely. Good evening, Council. Jonathan Goach, Assistant Director of Parks and Rec. I'm so happy, Council President, you brought that up. Super exciting event, June 30th, July 1st for everyone. Camp Dearborn 75th anniversary. Fireworks, food trucks, kids stuff, inflatables. It's going to be an absolutely amazing event. I encourage people to buy their tickets online in advance, get a little discount doing it that way. So keep an eye on all of our city social media. Everyone has been sharing it. And those awesome brochures, yeah, we have those available at the rec center. It's obviously available online as well, and there's going to be more great ones to come. So.
Yeah, this recreation guide is tremendous. It tells you about senior programs, senior services, the golfing, Mystic Creek, camping. There's a tremendous, it was very, very well done. I really wanted to make sure that it was highlighted. And the fireworks are on Saturday. Another thing, so people understand this too, it's per car. So you don't have to hide anybody in the back of the car when you come through.
That is correct.
$10 per car. You don't have to put anybody under the blankets. I know some of us have done that when we were kids.
Yes.
You get in per car, load the car up, come into Camp Dearborn. I'm going to be there. It's the 1st.
Yep, June 30th and July 1st.
But the fireworks is on the 1st.
Correct.
July 1st. So, folks, Camp Dearborn is, you got a commitment. This council body, as well as the mayor, has really committed in reinvesting into our parks. As you've seen earlier this year, we invested $30 million in our local parks in our jurisdiction of Dearborn. But Camp Dearborn has a lot of amenities to offer. And there has been changes out there, and we want to make sure that we continue in the right direction. So hopefully I will see you guys up there on the July 1st for the fireworks.
And members of council, before you go, if you don't mind really quick.
We're waiting for some passing.
Yep, I got some passes for everyone, so thank you.
I know we have some packets that were provided by the administration. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, just not.
Yeah, Councilman Hammoud, then you.
You said Eid al-Fitra, not to be that guy, but it's Eid al-Adha.
Adha, okay, I apologize. Well, it tells you that I get a printout.
And for everybody at home, for your neighbors, it's the same Eid Mubarak that you give them at the end of Ramadan. It's just at a different time of the year. So.
Thank you, Councilman Wu, for the correction. But everybody that's celebrating, happy Eid al-Adha. Adha. Want to make sure I got it correct. Councilman Herrick.
Thank you, Council President. Tomorrow is Flag Days being recognized across the country, but here in Dearborn, it's an annual event that the city hosts in partnership with the Dearborn Allied War Veterans Council. It will be held at the top of the hill on Cherry Hill at Ford Field Park at 6 p.m. And it's a really touching ceremony at which the Allied War Veterans Council disposes of worn-out flags that have served their useful life at the tops of flag poles and people's poles in front of their houses. And we thank everyone who works to put that together each year and hope to see folks out there tomorrow. And as Jack Tate from the Dearborn Historical Museum mentioned, the Historical Museum is partnering with some folks from Dearborn for Juneteenth. Countdown to Juneteenth celebration on Sunday, June 18th at 8 p.m. At the lawn outside the McFadden Ross House. And I just wanted to acknowledge the importance of Juneteenth in the history of the United States. For those who might not be aware, it's a holiday celebrating the end of slavery in the United States, when on June 19, 1865, more than 2 years after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, enslaved Americans in Galveston, Texas, finally received word that they were free from bondage. Juneteenth is also a time at which we reflect on the terrible toll slavery had on our country, and we're reminded to recommit ourselves to work to ensure equity, equality, and justice for all. I'd like to especially thank Dr. Julie Capolango, who lives at ArtSpace, and she has worked tirelessly over the last few years to host events and work with the city in partnership to draw attention to Juneteenth and bring folks together at this special time. Recognizing that Dearborn stands out from among other cities because of the contrast between our present and our past here in the city. We're recognized today as a welcoming community that celebrates cultural diversity, but that wasn't always the case. We have a legacy left by a longtime mayor who was known nationally as a segregationist. So in Dearborn and across our country, we must continue the work that's been led throughout America's history by civil rights advocates and lawyers, abolitionists and educators, courageous activists and trade unionists, public officials, and everyday people who have fought to make real the ideals of our country's founding documents for everyone. Together we can ensure the United States is a land of liberty, justice, and opportunity, and that was and is promised to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. All right, anything else from my colleagues? Councilman Enos.
Just want to congratulate the Dearborn Divine Child girls softball team for winning the district championship and the regional championship, which they won at Levelgood Park. And they were playing the quarterfinals today against Trenton. Last I heard, they were up 4-0 in the bottom of the fifth, which is, I'm sure it's over by now, but hopefully they won.
That's great. Thank you very much. And you know what? That does make another thing. I know that I was fortunate to be at Dearborn High School's graduation. I just want to wish all the graduates for graduating. This is just the beginning. I know it's not nowhere near the end, but it's a very, very nice event. No matter which school you go or do attend, to see the amount of parent participation is incredible. There was nowhere to stand. It was really tremendous. And I've seen it on videos across the city. So all those that have graduates at home, don't worry, you're still going to be paying their phone bills and stuff. So as parents, you haven't lost them. Just the way that things work. So we do appreciate. I want to recognize the graduations and make sure that everybody knows that they got the full support of the city of Dearborn as they leave off to college or stay home for college. So I do appreciate that.
You pay your kids' phone bill?
I still pay it's still on my bill and my kids. Some of them are professionals. Any other questions from my colleagues or comments?
I'd just like to encourage
Councilman Harris?
folks, please celebrate safely, whether it's
Yeah.
graduations, it's wedding time of year, a lot of people out and about enjoying parks and recreation and the activities that we have going on in our downtowns and dining outdoors, but please do so safely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Councilwoman. Anything else from my colleagues? Okay, anything from the administration? Nothing from the administration. Anything from the clerk?
Nothing from the clerk, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. At this time, we will then open to our final public comment portion. Is anybody here to speak to the council regarding city business? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record, and just a kind reminder, there's a 3-minute time limitation. Thank you.
I'm Kathy Smith, 21800 Morley. I don't like talking about like this. But anyways, I wanted to, thank you all for all your hard work, first of all. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about that zoning that's going on. So of course, I agree everything that everyone else spoke about regarding the zoning of Garrison, but there's also another piece to it that is regarding the little triangular area where the museum is. And I was at the planning committee meeting, and we kind of questioned that at that meeting, and basically we were kind of told, oh, that's happening down the road. Don't worry about it. But we are worried about it. So I wanted to kind of bring that up to your attention. I know that that room was full of people, by the way.
Yes.
Completely. And there's a lot of people against this. And of course, we want progress, but got to make the residents happy too. So that's basically I wanted to bring up regarding that little piece of property there too. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's really important to
Right, the council,
everyone.
yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I am scheduling a meeting on the 20th.
Yes.
And, Mr. Roma, I'm not sure, there was a question where we were gonna have it in a smaller room because there's a demolition board here. But I believe we're gonna alter our time a little later to accommodate this room, because I did see some of the videos and the place was packed. So I guess we're gonna reach out to the demolition board. Mr. Roma, are you part of that board?
Yeah, my office is represent, the legal counsel for that board, but I believe it's canceled, if I recall correctly.
The June 20th is?
The demo
no,
board,
no.
not your
Oh,
study
oh.
session. So
Yeah,
you
I
should
didn't want to
have-
confuse you. They had a meeting scheduled in this chamber.
I
It was
gotcha.
going to require us to go in a small room, which wouldn't accommodate everybody. I did not want that. So I wanted to make the change, but if it is, can we
I
get,
believe
it is?
you have the chambers. I'll confirm it, but I believe that's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was going to keep the chambers anyways, but just move the time back. So Jackie, if you can find that out. But as far as the small portion, the council has to address what's before us. We're going to find out what's before us. There's questions of what the planning commission got, what we're going to get.
Yeah,
Believe me, we're
I
gonna get to the
actually
bottom
think
of it.
they were confused, to be honest with you. Attending the meeting, it was.
Yeah, I see it. It was chaos.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that won't happen on
So.
Tuesday. I promise you that.
So,
Okay.
anyways, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, anyone else here from the public who would like to address the council regarding city business? Okay, hearing none, I will motion to adjourn. So moved. We are adjourned. Thank you.